What's going on?
I'm just saying, thinking about it, I'm going to send a lot of mean messages to a lot of podcasters.
So, okay.
So, anger and like,
okay.
oh, sorry. I'm going to get a UTI. Can I pee?
Go.
You're like, I'm going to finish the time, which I thought they were a couple that like really should have like lasted. Anyway, like where she like told everyone like that you shouldn't like flush if you just like pee.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard that, but I don't think that was Sheryl Crow. I think that's just kind of a known thing.
I feel like it was like a Sheryl Crow. Like,
I lived with a vegan a couple years ago, and he was a big non-flusher when he peed.
Well, probably because of Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And by the way, you just said Lance Armstrong and Sheryl Crow, they should have worked out. Maybe Lance Armstrong shouldn't have cheated all the time. Like that was
on her or on with steroids.
All of it. He cheated on.
I do not agree with like people being upset with. No, granted, it's like I guess they should open it up to all teams because I guess it's like not fair. But I want my I don't even watch sports in general, but it's like, why the fuck wouldn't why would people care if their people are on steroids? Great. Wouldn't you want to see them like as juiced up and crazy as possible? No,
because then because then it's like, you're then giving it to the richest person, the one with the best, that can afford the best medicine, the best science, the best, all of that, instead of actual natural ability. Like and now, if everybody gets the same amount of money to do steroids, I'm good with it. But also remember, each body's going to react differently to these things. So you're giving them an unfair advantage. That's just personally, but I know what you're saying.
Have the same opportunity for steroids. Like everyone should be equal, and there should be able to be affordable steroids instead of like big pharma with these big steroid companies where only certain people can afford steroids. It's like
I love that you're taking a stand. You're taking a stand on the important issues.
Like not everybody is in his tax bracket. Like. I just think it's so ridiculous. And people are like, oh my God, Lance Armstrong was on steroids. I know. If I was on every type of thing you could inject in me, I still would not be able to bike like fucking 2 miles. So like, okay, just because he's like on steroids, like doesn't mean like that magically like makes you bike. Like that sounds terrible.
Okay, and now we're going to go back to The Ring, the movie. That
I just feel like this is very relevant. Because
there's a lot of biking scenes. Bracelets?
What were they? A circle. What are we talking about? The ring. What did he like propose to her with? A ring, and they broke it off. So Ryan, I don't understand how you don't see the correlation.
This could be our most unfocused yet.
Your age is
2 years. This is so okay. So this kid goes to sleep, scares the shit out of his mom. Next morning, she wakes up. She's trying to find her black dress for the funeral, and then she's like, ah. And then we go out to the living room. Aiden has laid out her black dress, the kid, and he's like, it's a little wrinkled.
So fucking creepy. She's like, freaking out through her closet, like going through it, she's like Cher getting ready for her driving test, like going through it, like Aiden, where is my black dress? Which I also want to be like, why does your 8-year-old know where your like dress would be? And like she's walking around in her like bra and underwear, like granted she looks amazing, but she's like, where's my black dress? And like when she goes out, everything's perfectly laid out for her, including her shoes. And then he's in the mirror in a little suit doing his tie like a little fucking Patrick Bateman, where it's a little wrinkled. You were in my closet fucking like sniffing my page. He's a freakazoid. Put this one down.
They go to the funeral, I guess, but then this is like the party after the funeral, like the after party, and they're at Amber Tamlin's house, the girl who died, and it's all dark. It's like dark, but it's like dusk. Like the whole film is like all dark. Like there's nothing. Like there's nothing.
I'm pretty
sure
they're called wakes, not after parties.
It's an after party, and there's a DJ going, like lights.
They're celebrating the wrong kid being dead.
Shut up. And then Aiden is looking at Amber Tamlin's photo in the house, the girl who died, and Naomi kisses Aiden on top of the head. I'm like, what a wasted kiss, because this kid does not give a shit. And then we meet Amber Tamlin's mom, Ruthie, and she's like, Rachel's like, I'm so sorry. And the dad, Amber Tamlin's dad, is just sitting on the couch. His name's Dave. And Naomi Watts is like, you all right, Dave? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. How are you? And there's like a lot of pauses.
What a fucking dumb question. And you're a reporter, Naomi Watts. Been like, hey, Dave, why the long face, Dave?
Yeah,
she's
uncovering the truth.
And he's
she's
like, I don't know. My fucking teenage daughter is dead. How are you doing? Like, what a
but also he doesn't respond to her like it's a weird question. He responds to her like, hey, no, I'm doing good. But you could tell he has like that far away
somebody
Vietnam
got a case of the Sunday scaries.
There's also a lot of pauses. There's so many pauses in this movie. I loved taking notes on this because you didn't have to like pause like I do with Housewives, because there's like a lot of like long shots of just like people staring. And Ruthie's like, Dave sleeps all day. He doesn't move. He doesn't really move that much. It doesn't make any sense. He goes,
I was like, I do that and I don't have a dead kid. So,
and then she goes, Rachel, this is Ruthie, the sister. She goes, I spent 4 hours on the internet and I can't find one single case of a 16-year-old's heart stopping. I've talked to doctors. No one can tell what happened. And she was close to you. And Naomi Watts like Aunt Aiden. And by the way, you spent 4 hours on the internet. Welcome to 2022. That's nothing, dude. Like, I'm like, well, why don't you spend like every day on the fucking, why? Like you're 4 hours. And but also why you couldn't find one case of a 16-year-old's heart stopping? That's not even the scary part of this. We eventually see this girl's face and it's like completely twisted and this fucked up, which they never really even talk about either. That would be like, why don't you like search fucked up faces after you die? Like the heart stopping is like, that's a heart attack.
It's like gonna be like that cat woman in New York who like, she's always part of like that clickbait, like that poor like woman.
Oh, Jocelyn. Okay, yeah. But I'm saying the weird part isn't that the heart stopped. The weird part is that her face is completely, her jaw is completely to the left of her actual face. And it's like completely like that's the weird part of this.
That is one of the first moments like in a theater, like everyone like screamed at that. Like that is still like, even when it like played last night, I was like, oh, and I knew like that something in the closet was like coming, and it still is so fucking creepy.
we get a quick flash of a total, her jaw is off socket.
4 hours of like, I spent 4 hours on the internet and I couldn't find anything about it. Like a teenage girl's heart just stopping. If you spend 4 minutes on the internet, you can find something happening to anyone. Like,
well, the internet, it just shows you was less powerful back in those days. And
that's what, true. There were like, still less AOL powerful chat rooms.
Yeah. So then Naomi Watts goes outside and there's a bunch of teens there being teens. They're smoking. And I was like, you know what? Be respectful. This is your friend's funeral. Like there's like a smoke party out here. And Naomi's like, what's up, fellow kids?
I was going to say, this is her fellow kids moments. Because she's like, I used to love to smoke pot with me and my friends.
She's like, I used to love to smoke at funerals. And they give her a cigarette and then Adam Brody shows up, you guys, from the OC. He's like, because they're like, what do you think? Naomi Watts is trying to get some information. What are you guys talking about? What do you think? What's going on there? And Adam Brody's like, the tape that kills you when you watch it. And Naomi was like, what was on the tape? And he's like, I haven't seen it, obviously. And she's like, he's like, you idiot. I heard it.
He goes, oh yeah, her boyfriend. Yeah, he killed himself. Yeah, that dude's dead. Adam Brody.
He goes, I heard it from her boyfriend, and she was dating this guy, Josh. It's kind of Joshy, right? Or Josh? What did I write?
Josh, and it was
kind of
like,
secret.
Her friends were like, the girls who were smoking were like, yeah, it was like a big secret. Like, I guess because he like went to another school or something. I don't know. Like, but he apparently he died, and like, and that kid killed himself. So I don't well, explains why he's not at the funeral. It's also weird that like you think Seth Cohen, who was like one of my first TV, like he was everybody's TV crush. Like, you think that Seth Cohen being married to like Blair Waldorf like would be like a bigger like pop culture thing, and I feel like no one even cares. Like the fact that Adam Brody and like Leighton Meester are married and have a kid, like, and no one cares. Like,
I mean, people care, but there's other things. I mean, we're onto Harry Styles, we're onto Wild. So anyways, Adam Brody is there just to give more information that the boyfriend, she had a secret boyfriend. He also killed himself the night that Katie died, which isn't like, that should be more of a bigger thing. And we should also tell her parents at this point. Aiden is, and then Aiden, the creepy kid, we cut to inside. He's staring at the stairs in the walk up and stops at the door, goes into the room, Amber Tamlin's room. And I was like, does anyone watch the fucking kids? No wonder these kids are dying right and left. Anyways, you're not even keeping your eye on kids. The mom's out there smoking a cigarette. And then Rachel comes in, finally finds Aiden, turns on the light. And she's like, Aiden, what are you doing on?
Yeah, she's like, where's the nearest open panty drawer? Okay, probably her room.
And then he goes, come on, we shouldn't be in her room. And then Aiden goes, it's not her room anymore. Which is like,
and he's like an inch away from the TV. His nose is like, his little like pug little demon nose is almost touching it. Like, it's not her room anymore.
So now we know where he gets this behavior of like snooping, because then Naomi Watts starts snooping through the collage books and of Amber Tamblyn, and all the faces are like scribbled out in her, like she taped a bunch of pictures in there, Yeah.
And it's like really angrily, like every face is like scratched. Like, you're like, I hate this person. Like how I used to do in like my yearbook of like, this person made fun of me. So basically like every face was blacked out. Somebody like saw my yearbook and like, oh, this girl has been dead for years. Cause literally almost every picture is scratched out besides like the teachers.
So you're like Aiden.
Yeah, exactly. I'm less likable.
So she's in this book, and then all of a sudden, like, she finds a photo developing receipt. There used to be photo mats, you guys, where you could develop actual picture rolls. There weren't digital pictures. So she finds this receipt, which is just like happenstance. And the next day we cut to, she picks up the photos, and we see it's Amber Tamblyn with her boyfriend, but all the faces are smudged in front of the cabin.
God, please don't let it be like you're picking these photos up from like a blonde Robin Williams, like with glasses. Like it's like a 1 hour photo, like crossover. Like it is like, also the smudged faces look like you just took like the Photoshop like tool and did like the swirly smudge face, but still yet looks more realistic than like Gretchen Rossi. Like you can actually still see Amber Tamlin's like nostrils in these pictures. Like, so it's just, it is slightly more realistic. But yeah, it's pictures of like their weekend trip of like looking cute and like posing. And then like the last one is their like face all like warped, like that screaming painting.
That's the thing though about the old school like film, like you would take so many bad photos. That's why digital photos are kind of cool, because you would take so many bad ones and it would really truly waste film, because then you see them and most of them are like boring photos,
Also, because it's like you could have the biggest moment of your life, like meeting like a celebrity, and you can like, you'd be like, oh my God, please don't let my mom's like, finger be over like the lens of this like Kodak camera. Yeah. And like, because if you did, you're then like, okay, well, this happened. But like when I met Owen Wilson outside like the Regis and Kelly show, when still like Regis was like there, I was just like, oh my God, if Nancy's finger is in front of this, like I will kill her. He was like promoting Wedding Crashers.
Was it?
No, surprisingly, like I did not have high hopes for this, but it's like when, I just still think of Ramona Singer telling Jill Zarin at the actual Kodak event that Jill Zarin was like speaking at, when Ramona's like, actually, it's like an antiquated company, and I don't think that's a good idea. Like, she's at the seminar that Jill Zarin's like about to present at like Kodiak. But anyway.
So we cut to, we see a newspaper, it says Josh Turnadotte dies, which is the boyfriend. And then we find out this other guy, Scott Conroy, and another girl die in a car accident too, all die at 10 p.m., which is the same time that Amber Tamblyn's character dies at. We cut to a busy news office, and Rachel is working the phones, and her boss comes up. She's like, you're fired. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm cooking too good of a story right now. And these kids, they all died at 10 p.m. It's like, so I'm like, okay, I guess you're rehired. And then we cut to a lake. And Rachel is driving to the cabin where this happened. And
the Shelter Mountain Inn.
And this guy's like, the creepy guy at the front desk is like, pick a card, any card. And it's the 9 of spades. And he's like, put it back. Don't let me see it. And he goes, is this your card? And it isn't. And he's like, oh, damn. And she goes,
I don't think that he should be. I think magicians get such a bad fucking rap. Everyone calls magicians creepy. I think that they are so misunderstood. I think it's so unfair. I'm always amazed at how they do tricks. I can never figure it out. It takes like a certain level of skill, and everyone just like goes to like the cheap joke of like that magicians are creepy. It's like saying like my least favorite word is moist. Guess what? Like no one likes the word moist. Like you're not original. Like the real villains are the fucking ventriloquists. It's like if she checked in at the Shelter Mountain Inn and some like the front desk guy, like the concierge had his hand up a puppet, I'd been like, no, you and this like knockoff, like, you know, like Jeff Dunham, like you can take you and your racist puppets. And like, also that's like a celebrity friendship that like broke off with the Jenner and Kardashian family. Like everyone thinks like Larsa Pippen, but do you remember during I Am Caitlyn or I Am Kate when Jeff Dunham wouldn't answer Caitlyn's phone calls because they were supposed to have that friend date where they were supposed to like.
Caitlyn was like, I love Jeff. Jeff's one of my friends.
Like
that way, by the way, that wasn't on I Am Kate. Wasn't that on the actual Kardashian episode?
I don't remember. And it's like I video record all of like Jeff Dunham's TV appearances. And like, so I should remember, but like, I'm just like, I want to be a lobbyist for magicians. It's unfair.
Okay. So anyways, this guy's like, her name is like, hey, I'm wondering if you remember these kids from a week ago. My niece, she ran away and shows the picture and she's like, yeah, they were in cabin 12. Number of complaints about the TV. That's why we bought a tape player. And then they point over to the selection and she's like, quite a selection. And he's like, yeah, they're mainly hand-me-down from the other guests. And then Naomi's like, you know what? I'm kind of tired. I might take a nap before I go back to town. I'll take cabin number 12. And then she sees this video without a cover and she takes the video. And then we see a creepy tree. It's like nighttime-ish. And then she's in the cabin and she's staring. She puts the videotape in. And which, by the way, wouldn't this be like, why? How did they rewind it? Like, wouldn't the tape have started? No, what I'm saying, yeah, like, wouldn't the tape, like, these kids rewound the tape?
It doesn't. It
just keeps repeating.
Make sense. It's just like how did this tape like get there in like the first place? It's like between like a copy of like Short Circuit 2 and you know like I don't know like fucking like Casablanca or some film you would like just like weird and like it's just how did it get like rewound? How is it still in such good condition? Like, well,
it's not in great condition. I mean, it's a very staticky. It's not a great condition at all, but we see, you know, we see static, we see like a ring and Naomi Watts looks confused. We cut to flowing water, a chair, a lady combing her hair. We see a creepy girl. We see a guy looking out a window. We see a tree by an ocean. We see mouth, finger, maggots crackling. This is when we see the centipede. We see a dog limping, a horse eye, cut off fingers, a tree burning. And then the lady turns to the camera that had been brushing her hair. Then we see a ladder. Then we see a rock and ocean. Then we see a lady staring at the ocean, jumping. Then we see the ladder falling. Then we see the well. And then it's static.
And we also see the dead horses on the beach. We see dead horses on the beach. And yeah, then we see like which like, obviously we find out this lady is like Samara's mom, like later on. And like, also she looks like fucking Mary Todd Lincoln. This film was supposed to be taken in like what, the 1960s or whatever. She looks like a historical reenactor at fucking like Plymouth Plantation. It makes no sense.
Well, no, yeah, it's all like scattered imagery, but okay. So the thing is the phone rings immediately after it. And that's the whole thing is like, and Naomi picks it up and the girl goes, or a girl's voice goes, 7 days, which by the way, that is, you know, this was a joke at Blockbuster because you would be like, you know, return your movie. It's been 7 days. And all of a sudden it says Thursday on the screen. So this is the first day after, she had heard this tape, So we see Aiden, the creepy kid, making himself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He packs his own lunch. He's an independent kid. And then he goes, I'm going to school. Rachel closes the door and she's holding the videotape. And then we see Aiden, the creepy kid, walking in the rain. And all of a sudden, this this good looking dude stops. And Aiden looks up at the good looking dude. And they just stare at each other for a second. And then they keep walking. And then this guy that's been staring at Aiden all of a sudden is in Rachel's apartment. So I guess Rachel knows him, but the kid had wasn't that just the weirdest, stupidest thing?
I did not remember this. I did not remember that. I was so thrown off by this relationship. Cause yeah, you just think it's a stranger who he just walks up to, and he doesn't even have a little kid umbrella. Aiden doesn't have a Spider-Man umbrella. He just has an old person umbrella with it's just such a fucking freak. But yeah, he has this weird eye stare off with this good looking guy. He looks like a brunette like Ryan Hansen. I thought he was a very good looking guy. I did not remember.
Oh, he's a great looking guy. Not much else there, but he's a great looking guy. I don't think this guy went on to have a huge career because I don't remember him in a lot of things. He looks like the perfect video in an Amy Grant music video, kind of like a Christian good looking guy,
He looks he looks like he'd have the face of he would be in any Hallmark movie or Lifetime movie. He'd be the guy who's my family is losing their, their home business. And I, have 3 blind golden retrievers, just a nice guy in flannel, a good, he's just a typical, you put in Google, good looking guy.
So the guy's talking to Naomi Watts, and she's showing him the picture of the kids with the faces blurred. And he's like, pretty cool effect. He's like, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with the tape you're talking about? And she's like, take my pick. And he's like, oh, okay. No, he's like, she's like, are you going to look at me at least? She's like, no, he's like, is this the same camera I'm taking it on? And they take the picture because it's blurry. Naomi Watts, he's taking the pictures and we see him because I guess this is one of the first digital cameras and it's blurry. And he's like, show me the tape. And she goes, I think you shouldn't see it. And he's like, 4 kids are dead, Noah. And he goes, not from watching a videotape, which, by the way, why would at this point she let anyone watch this tape?
Exactly.
It is, I mean, at this point, trust, I would be, trust me. It's like somebody when you're like, oh, this milk is bad. Taste this.
Yeah.
This is bad. Taste this. It's that kind of saying well, if it's bad, why would I want to confirm I trust you. It's bad. I would trust. I don't know. So he's like, no.
Also, it's it should be any other video. It's when a friend's oh, you got to see this YouTube video or you got to see this TikTok. I'm already oh no.
It's 2 girls, 1 cup. By the way, this should be 2 girls, 1 cup is the video.
See, it's what's so sad is I feel kids these days, you don't even you just think of Anna Kendrick playing with the cups. In my day, there were 2 girls with 1 cup
eating their own poop. That where there really was, you guys.
Did you ever see that video?
No, I was at a party once. They tried to play it. And I had I saw for when they were just before it happened. They did and I was I had to leave. I was not the party, but the room.
I feel because isn't that movie removed from the internet? That's just an urban legend.
I hope it is. I mean, I'm sure you could. I mean, come on, it's got to be. I just don't think anybody goes searching for it because it's disgusting.
I feel now that's so tame compared
but
to.
But still, no, I think still eating poop is not tame. I don't think at any point eating poop has been normalized.
I think it's been removed from the dark web and just on a regular now Reddit.
I bet it's still. I bet it's not even on there. I bet it's out there. It's just that nobody would normally go and put that in.
I'm sure it's just now it's on an OnlyFans. Now you have to pay for it.
That'll be the next thing we recap.
It's on the Cups OnlyFans.
No, I couldn't. I know. I would throw up. I couldn't do that. But she goes, I think you shouldn't see the tape. But then she relents and she goes out on the balcony while he watches the death tape and he stares at the, and she's staring out at all these other apartments across the road from her. And they're different apartments watching TV, which is, I don't know, symbolic. And the door slides open and He's like, roll credits, very student film like, it might be a lot scarier at night. All of a sudden the phone rings and Noah says, you going to get it? And Naomi goes to answer it, anticipates. She lets it go to voice. I was like, why wouldn't you let it go to voicemail? And she goes, that tape didn't scare you? And he goes, no, not really. No, which is exactly me. He
pulls a Ryan Bailey. It's like, I don't care.
No, it did. It's not. It's creepy. It's like a 9 Inch Nails music video. It's like a Trent Reznor music video, but it's not.
I don't know who any of those people are.
Okay. Anyway, she goes, 4 people are dead, and Naomi goes, we watched it. It takes a week for us to die. And Noah says, I got to pick up some camera stuff, and she's like, make me a copy. I'll see. Or he goes, make me a copy. I'll see what I can do. He leaves. There's one message on the machine. She just hits delete, which, by the way, if you're a fucking news reporter, are you really deleting information? Like, you're already going to die. It's not like you have to listen to the message, then you die. It's,
what
listen to the message.
Journalist are you? And also,
you have proof.
I want to hear the voicemail because I want to hear some more. I'm been like, oh God, this is so awkward to do over an answering machine.
Or it's like in the middle of you're gonna die.
I don't know if it was you or somebody at your residence. I don't know. One of you watched a tape and or just being
call me back.
All right, this is the 3rd message I've left for you. I guess we're playing phone tag, but please call me back.
We cut to the newsroom. It's an audio video research room, and Naomi now she keeps watching it because I guess you can't double die. And when the numbers on the machine, they're blurry. Like these high-tech video machines aren't showing actual numbers. She pauses it and she sees a fly on the image. We cut to Friday, the next day. She's in an elevator going up a creepy building. By the way, there's no pleasant looking places in this. It's all like austere.
Oh, everything is blue and green. It's like the 4th Harry Potter movie. Like everything is blue and green. And I lived in Seattle for a year. I was so lied to. I guess all I knew about Seattle was like Frasier and like Grey's Anatomy. I was so lied to about like it raining. It barely rained ever. Like it really, and I like love rain. And it's so misleading. This movie is very misleading. Do not think that this is regular Seattle weather. Because if you move to Seattle thinking this is what it's going to be, nope. This is more movie libtard magic that Holly Weird puts out.
So this is Noah's place, the creepy building, and he's watching it on a VCR. And he's like, hey, you sure this is a copy? And she's like, yeah, why? The numbers are all screwed up. And then he like mansplains how numbers work on a VCR. He's like,
is that
the numbers
what he was saying about like numbers?
Yeah. They wait. Are you joking? It's like numbers on a VCR. Like, say a movie's 2 hours, it'll tell you that you're 32 minutes into a movie. Like, it's the time.
I swear on Cheeto's life, like when he was like, "No, I'm playing the movie, and the time codes don't match up because if you're recording on like any tape recorder, it should show you the numbers because it's like everything has a fingerprint, and it's like this doesn't have like the numbers, and it's
like a time code.
Out a finger. Is that true though?
Yes. But she goes, can you pretend for one moment I don't read Video Geek magazine? Which you always hear lines like these in movies. Can you pretend for 1 second that I'm not on a bomb squad? Can you pretend for 1 second that I'm not the writer of the Constitution? Can you? So he goes, it's like being born without fingerprints. And then she's like, so how did this get recorded? And she goes, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And then we see the woman combing her hair, and we see the mirror, and he's like, see, you should see a camera filming in this mirror, but you can't. So they're saying like, you're like, oh, this is a film production. Then they have
like the camera production of Real Housewives, because how many times are they in the mirror and we don't see those cameras?
But see, this is what's so stupid about the fucking movie is that we never get this answer of like, why a VHS tape? Why? Like, what? I mean, just why? You can hunt people. So many. Like, why? If you're in a well, why not just anybody that goes to the well and visits the well dies in 7 days? Like, why the videotape? Because then how did this videotape get made? There's no filming, like you all these random shots of editing and all this shit. None of it makes sense then at this point. So this little girl is haunting people, but she has chosen to go in the form of a tape, a VHS tape. She put all of her money on a VHS.
Yellow Pages still existed. So she's down there with every fucking like yellow page, like licking her finger, like flipping through pages, like trying to find like and like Naomi, like Naomi, like when like Naomi Watts. But it's like, yeah, why isn't she going through the plumbing?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense in so many ways. So we go oh yeah. So all of a sudden this lady walks in, and her name's Beth. And I guess it's one of his journalism students, and Beth kisses him, the guy, on the cheek. And he's like, look at this thing with the tracking. And Rachel is like, I gotta go. So she's mad that this girl kissed him on the cheek.
He introduced her. Also, he's like, this is Rachel. She's a journalist. Yeah. Which you find out later is like, oh, cool. That's how you introduce Rachel. Then like, this is my friend Rachel. She has the most demonic kid in the world. Like, just like introduce her as like something else.
Well, and he chases Naomi Watts out, and he's like, you took the tape. And she goes, I don't want her to see it, which is like, but she's kind of like in a jealous, like, it's like kind of like, she doesn't get to see this cool tape that kills people. And
she doesn't get to see the kill tape.
He says, I'm not going to get worked about some high school rumor. And she's like, this is the part that I say, you're a flake who never finishes anything. Then we cut to Becca, who was the girl from the beginning scene in an insane asylum. And we see all these patients in wheelchairs, which it's an insane asylum if they're in wheelchairs.
Also, if it's one person, like a stereotypical like mental asylum thing is that like a person is playing by themselves, like checkers, or playing by themselves like a board game. It's like how do we show somebody single in a movie? Like they go to their fridge and they sniff like a Chinese food container, and then they give the face of like, this food is bad. Like it's just like the stereotypical like Hollywood of like this is a mental institution. And I even asked Nancy, I was like, when you were in like because Nancy, like I'm saying, I don't like it when kids call their moms by their first names. My mom's name is Nancy. And I asked Nancy, I was like, when you were in like the mental hospital, did they play Hollywood Squares, which is like what they're playing on this movie? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I was wearing little footy socks that had treads on them. So I don't remember what they were playing. I was like, I'm just asking if they were playing Hollywood Squares with Tom Bergeron, the Silver Fox, God, who I catcalled during the Dancing with the Stars performance.
So, damn. So Naomi Watts is there to talk to
Annabelle.
Becca.
I don't care.
Becca and Rachel's like, hey, do you remember anything about that night with Katie? Do you remember how she died? And Rachel is like Becca's like a zombie. She's like, it's like, she told you about a videotape, didn't she? She was afraid, wasn't she? Something was happening to her. Becca, how did she die? And then all of a sudden, Becca grabs her hand, or Naomi grabs her hand and goes, I need to know. And then Becca's like, and you will see, she'll show you. And Naomi's like, who will show you? And Becca goes, not now. And then turns Naomi Watts' hand around and then makes it the middle finger. And no, she puts she puts like one of the fingers down and she goes, 4 days. Because it's 4 days. It's been 3 days now since she saw the videotape. So it's like, oh, creepy. Of course, you'd have a billion more questions, but we don't see any of that shit. Because it's like, why did you just make, like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, I would get the police
involved. Is it always on the old game show network? Is it always Hollywood Squares? Like, I would have way more questions about.
Well, you're back to the Hollywood Squares thing. What are you? You're back to what's on the TV.
This is what she's missing out on. She's she's missing out on like the female spank bank of like Tom Bergeron. Like, I feel badly for her.
We get a shot of tree. We cut to more cameras.
I like to say tree like it's Teresa Giudice. Like
a tree, like a creepy tree. Then we see more cameras and some nerd lady, and we're in now another video space. She's like, it's totally analog what we do down here, and here's your tracking monitor, here's your printer, so you can play things and print out images. And she's like, so what are we watching? Home movies? And Naomi's like, I would rather watch Alone. And she goes, really? Whatever.
Like, I got this tape from a young man named Ryan Bailey, and I bought it in Kansas. This is something I'd rather view alone.
Because it's like, so basically she's going to print images off of this video at this creepy analog place. And we see a lighthouse. That's what like is right before what was like being cut off before. We see a lighthouse and it shuts off. And then we all of a sudden see the image, but we see a fly, the fly again that she saw earlier. And she pauses the thing. But then if you look close, the fly's wings are still going. And then Naomi goes to the screen and goes to get the fly from the screen.
Nipple pinches it.
Yeah. And all of a sudden the fly's in her hand. And all of a sudden her nose bleeds. And then all of a sudden it's Sunday. It's day 4 now. You didn't think
that was great? Are you serious?
Come on. I'm like, okay, a fly. You know what? And I just don't like movies that there's like, okay, explain how that happened. Explain it. Explain it. How did it, like, you just can't have things happen. And then we never find out like, well, in the spirit world, they like to mess with people doing VHS tapes and like, there's no explanation for any of this shit. So it's not scary to me.
It's like alleged.
No, okay. It's a scary. It's a gross image.
Prove to me that there were victims from this like crash for like that Erica Jane O's. Like prove to me that
it's a gross image. That's it. It's a gross image.
Well, she's like, there's more off screen. It's like how you say that there's fucking like that video stuff. Like when she like goes to this video lab, she's like, there's more off screen that they're not showing, and that's how she like goes to this lab so she can
finds
like
the lighthouse,
look off the screen. Like that's not, unless Samara like shot this in like for IMAX and they're like, well, no, we can only produce it in like regular VHS.
There's never an explanation of why any of this is on film. So don't even look for it. That's what I'm saying. It would have been. So anyways, now we cut to the next day. Library.
No explanation why Kathy Hilton's meltdown isn't on film.
The librarian, Ryan. The librarian gives Naomi a bunch of books on lighthouses. And guess what? She finds the lighthouse immediately from the image that she just got. It was like, how lucky is that? Like, imagine, this is like the internet's not as strong as it is today. You could put this into a Google search, but this is before Google image search. So this librarian brings her books on lighthouses, plops them down, and immediately we find the lighthouse.
America's lighthouses. And she just like the
it's such a, I guess, a famous lighthouse, and it's like Moscow Island or something. And then finally we go to the internet. We see what the internet looks like back then. And I did forget what it looked like. I was like, oh wow. And we see she types this like Moscow Island in, and we see a pic of a bunch of ladies with a dude, and then one lady all in black, which is just like, hey, on picture day, didn't you go, hey, you fucking look weirder than all of these people in, like, on picture day, you notice how you're the only one wearing black. Did everybody joke about it that day? Like, it is such a weird photo.
She's like, we're all dressing up as like old presidents' wives. Like,
it looks like, it looks so photoshopped and fake. And this is Anna Morgan.
It truly is. It is. And I'm so bad at looking at like deep fakes or whatever. Like, this Photoshop is so bad. You might as well have put them on the fucking moon. Like, this Photoshop is horrible. Everyone looks normal. And then there's, they're like a woman who's coming to like a middle school to tell them about, the first Thanksgiving, where you're just like, what? It's so mean to do, to tell it they did like an Elle Woods of like, yeah, it's a costume party. Yeah, we're all dressing up in costume for this picture in front of the lighthouse. Actually, like, we're all dressing in like, like 1940s. And she's like, oh, okay. I know that's not when the first Thanksgiving is. Like, obviously the first Thanksgiving was like 1930, but like, I'm just saying as an example of like, and they all told her that's such a mean girl thing to do. So she comes looking ridiculous.
So this is Anna Morgan in the picture, and she's hosting a horse show, the internet results say. And then we cut to Naomi Watts digging in these old newspapers, and we see this mysterious illness strikes horses, second horse drowning, which is, I was like, oh, Annabelle picked this because of the horses. And then it's like madness continues in the headlines. And then we see Anna Morgan, a pic of a back of a head. And it's like, oh, this is the chick from the video. This is Anna Morgan from the Ring video. And then we see a thing that says horses recovering after breeder's suicide. And we see that the lady jumped, and that's on the tape, is that Anna Morgan jumped into, and this is Anna Morgan, and she was suffering from hallucinations. And Naomi goes, what happened to you, Anna? And Naomi notices that she scribbled the face off like the other girl. Like Naomi's making notes, and then all of a sudden she looks down and realizes she's starting to scribble faces off like Amber Tamblyn did in the beginning in her little scrapbook. And then we cut to Noah, the good looking video dude, ordering cigarettes. And the cashier lady goes, you're going to die. And he's like, whoa. And he goes, my cousin used the patch. He never looked back. She's talking about the cigarettes, folks.
I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. I'm never coming here again. Like, what the fuck? Just fucking give him the pack. And also, because the bitch is like this, because of like, stop telling people not to smoke, because it is the sexiest habit. And unfortunately, it's a dying habit. Like, no pun intended. So few men smoke anymore. Like, a bunch of people like smoke like vape pens, but it doesn't have the same effect.
Wait,
like,
do you smoke cigarettes?
No, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I'm a DARE graduate, but truly I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. But I told you know this, besides like the ABC family show Greek, like men smoking cigarettes is like one of the biggest turn-ons to me. If you've ever seen like that, like there are viral Twitter questions of like, what do you think is the sexiest like turn on somebody can do, like that's polite in public? Like what is
fart?
And like one of mine is like, I would say my top one is like a guy smoking cigarettes. And the second one is like when like guys like touch like girls' faces to like kiss them. Like, I don't know. First thing would be like the cigarette thing. I think smoking is like one of the sexiest things people can do. And like nobody does it anymore. It's really sad.
Okay. So we go to the guy looks up at the video screen after buying the cigarettes, like to make sure people don't steal. He looks up, his face is blurry in the video. So his image is altered. We cut to clouds moving. We cut to Naomi Watts coming into her apartment, which by the way, where the fuck is this kid? The Static Kiss is on TV.
Good.
She wakes, we see a babysitter. So we're like, oh, okay. The kid's
also,
babysitter.
Ryan, this is like not going to matter. So will you just tell the baddies, what is your biggest turn on that somebody can do in public? Like, what is an average, like a quote unquote normal thing? Like for me, it's smoking.
I don't know. Ignore me. I don't really.
You're such a masochist. You're like, I don't.
They're not like, oh wow. Like, I don't know.
You're like listening to my podcast. Like if I see them listening.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like hiking. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, well, that explains why there's nothing I can do to impress you.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing. There's not. I mean, smoking doesn't do it for me anymore. So I don't know. We cut to
terrible answer.
I'm sorry, it is. I just never thought about it. So he wakes up the babysitter, and the babysitter's like, oh yeah, he's fine.
That's why you need a secret room, because you're like, anything that turns me on is something that you cannot do in public.
This weird kid's Aiden's fine. He learned the word conundrum tonight, and then he drew my picture. We cut to Aiden's freak show room, and Naomi Watts is just staring at him, closes the door, and then calls her sister. She's like, hey, Ruthie, it's me. I'm sorry to call so late. I need you to watch Aiden. And she's like, I don't know how long. And, but
yeah, I know your kid just died. So can you watch my creepy kid? Cause you're free.
You're not going through anything right now. And she pours like a glass of water from the faucet, and she starts choking while she's like, and she's like, Rachel, and Ruthie's like, Rachel, is this about Katie? And she's fully choking. And then all of a sudden she reaches into her mouth and she pulls out a long hair, or like what looked like a long hair, right? And it was like a magician with and it kept going, kept going, kept going. And then at the very end, there's something attached to it.
There's like
and
there's like a sticker, like a suction cup,
yeah,
like medical thing.
Yeah, it was like, with the things they put you on, like heart monitors or whatever, maybe
like that, like what Randall Emmett was wearing when he like
in
exactly, in the hospital.
Yeah. And then she picks back up the phone. She's like, Ruthie, and water, you guys, is coming out of the phone. And it's like, that's not normal. And then Naomi heads down the hallway, and now Aiden's door to Aiden's room is open now, and we had seen her shut it. And then she walks in, and we see a girl on a chair in a puddle, and hair is covering her face. And she walks up to it, and all of a sudden the girl grabs Naomi's head, and we are in a psych ward all of a sudden, quickly. And then Naomi wakes up, and all of a sudden she looks down, and we see bruising on her arm where she was grabbed. Crazy, right?
It's like when Nick Carter was dating Paris Hilton. Like, it's aggressive bruising.
Oh,
that no one wants to, like, nobody wants to say it, but now we said
nobody
it. Neil Grammer
said,
now we said it. There's bruise, like, there's, we don't all, it's just like the fact that fucking Naomi, like, the fact that she pulls a Ryan Bailey, what does she leave around? Because she wakes up with this like scar on her, like this burned little handprint on her arm, much like this bruise.
Yeah, like, what is that?
This is on my arm.
Yeah.
I told you, when I texted you, I'm not meant to do like physical labor, like manual labor. I unloaded a bunch of like boxes from like a pallet, like to go into a warehouse, things that the words that I never thought I would say like consecutively, like before I just like had like a makeup palette. No, this is like an actual like workman, like OSHA violation palette. The fact that I'm allowed to unload stuff from a fucking forklift, like it's like Simple Life 3 interns. Like I'm picking up boxes, and clearly not very capable because I'm bruised. Like it looks like somebody threw me down the fucking stairs. Like I'm bruised everywhere.
It could be the little girl from the Ring. So Aiden isn't in his bed, and because this kid is an independent kid, all of a sudden goes in the other room. This motherfucking kid is watching the tape. This is how bad of a mom she is. She's left the tape around.
This
and
is
Naomi
what a bad boner jam maker she is. She a full-on Ryan Bailey leaving this tape in the fucking VC. What?
Yeah.
How? Why?
Naomi goes,
how irresponsible.
No. This is why you need parental controls on your TV. And she takes the tape and throws it under the couch, and it says copy on it. And
like leaving around your fucking loaded gun.
She's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, we don't have cable. There's nothing to watch. No, he's like, I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, okay, so you're just gonna go, just put in a random like play. Anyways. And then he goes, who is she, Rachel? And then all of a sudden the phone rings. Naomi picks up, hangs up. It goes again. And
also,
she goes, leave him alone. She screams out in the phone. And Noah goes,
sorry, go ahead. It's insane.
No, it's like the second time it happens to be Noah though. Noah's calling. He's like, Rachel?
But the first time, the fact that you don't even pick up, it's like it could be Samara, it could be Jen Shaw trying to sell you then like, hey, like your car's warranty is up. Like you need to call this number and like give us like financial information. It's like the fact that her like journalistic integrity, what would Rowan Farrow do it? Like never. He would never ignore a fucking phone call. He would pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this obviously.
This is why you work for a fucking Seattle like newspaper. This is why print is dying. Because like there's.
He goes, Noah's like, listen to me, Rachel, I need to talk to you. And he's like, I can't take my Polaroid. And she's like, I believe you. And he's like, and then Naomi's like, he watched the tape. And then Noah goes, who watched the tape? And then Naomi Watts goes, our son. Noah is this kid's dad.
This was a jump scare for me.
that was by the way, that was probably the scariest. That I'm not even joking. Like that to me was a unique thing. Like, oh, okay, because then it makes that moment when they stopped at each other and stared in the rain at each other even creepier. Because it's like, oh, what a weird. The kid knows that that's his dad, but that they, you know, like it's weird.
I did not remember this at all. I just like thought that was like her friend, like this like flirty. I just remember them being like, it was a guy who I thought she liked who was like good at video. Like that's all I remember. I did not remember this being like the baby daddy.
Yeah, it was so that all of a sudden we get that reveal, and then it's Tuesday, day 5, and Noah is with Aiden. Noah's in the car with Aiden in the back seat, and Aiden says, "You took my picture. I've seen you." Oh yeah. So I guess the kid doesn't really know it's the dad. He just goes, "You took my picture. I've seen you," Aiden says to Noah.
I've seen you taking my pic. Oh yeah.
When I'm in the yard at school, he says.
Taking pictures of me when I'm in the schoolyard. And I wanted Noah to be like, "Oh no, I'm not taking pictures of you. I'm taking pictures of the little girl behind."
No, but I also like,
no, you're right. I am taking pictures of you, just you, not
this
any
kid
of the
should
other
not,
kids.
this guy shouldn't be around school, but like, it was like, oh, and then he goes, "You wish I was around more?" And it's like, wait, I don't get, do you know or not know? Because Aiden's like, "Oh, you're the creepy dude that takes pictures of me at school." And then he goes, "Does that mean you want me around more?" And he's like, "No, do you want me to be around more?" And then Noah's like, "Rachel and I were," and he's like, "Yeah, young mom, she told me that too." And then Noah goes, "The thing is, I don't think I would be a good father, maybe because my own was such a disappointment."
Yeah,
And I'm
because
like,
my own dad was, my own dad was such a disappointment. So I'm really trying to outdo him by not being around you at all. So I'm really trying to give him a run for his money.
Usually the people are like, "I can do better than my dad," but this guy just gave up completely. The kid goes back to drawing, and it's like one of the stupidest conversations. Like for a cool moment, it turns so stupid.
It's so, no, you're the fucking, one of the creepiest moments. And he goes, it's like, "So I want to be around more, but I don't know. I don't want to do that to you." And the fucking freakazoid goes, "It's a real conundrum." No, that word coming out of that face hole.
No, he learned, because he learned that word from the babysitter the night before. Remember?
No, thank you. I don't blame Noah. If I saw that this was what my sperm created, I'd be like, "Nope, I'm not even going to fucking waste a picture on you." No. I'd be an absentee father all the way. Like, I do not claim you. I don't care if we go on fucking Maury and DNA test prove. Nope, it's not me. He's not mine. Like,
yeah. So
I do not claim this.
But then,
Noah,
this kid is like, this is where Aiden gets the creepiness from it. Cause Noah's like, "The thing is though, I don't want anyone else to do it either. I mean, be your father." It's so weird. So we cut to the drawing, and it's like, we cut to his drawings and we cut to a horse dying. We see the chair, we see the ring. And then, we're in Katie's notebook from earlier. And he's like, "Time to go, mister." And because, we're dropping the kid off at Ruthie's, her sister. And Noah said, Noah said to make one for you. And it's Aiden's shitty drawing. Like, Noah gives Aiden's shitty drawing to Naomi Watts, his mom.
Like, Naomi Watts doesn't have enough going on.
Like, yeah.
But also feign interest in this fucking.
But also, she has enough of his shitty drawings. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh great, another shitty drawing for my kid. And
listen, my cubicle's full of them. My coworkers keep complaining. They don't want to see this. Stop encouraging this. Like, I have enough going on.
Rachel says, "You could almost draw a line through her life." No, we're talking about Anna Morgan. She's like, one part, she's a happy woman riding horses, face is light, pride. And then one day something happens and she takes a hard corner and she winds up in a psych ward. And I think it has to do with the horses. And then I was like, oh, this is like, by the way, this would be a creepy movie of like then following Annabelle's life at this point. Like, it's like she took a sharp turn and left Hollywood and got introduced to horses. And then she's like, "I think we should go to the island." And I'm like, "Why not?" And she goes, "We only have one day left, Noah." And she goes, "I think before you die, you see a ring." And Naomi gets out of the car and he's like, "Wait." And he hands her the drawing that Aiden made. And 1 second, I'm like, thanks. Okay, cool. We see a dark shot of the river.
As you crumple it up as it makes like the sound that like when you do the trash on your computer where it's like, and they're like, yeah, you're right, Naomi. It's one day till you see the ring, the cock ring. We should spend our last day, really make the most of it. It's like, if I had what I thought would be my last day, am I going to chase down this story that I'm probably going to get wrong? No, I'd been like, you know what? I'm going to eat a shit ton of Taco Bell. I'm going to watch reality TV. I'm not going to hang out with my creepazoid son because he's one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. Like, he's a great ad for birth control, though. Like, no, I'm going to live up my last 24 hours because the chance of this solving this is probably 50-50. Honestly, 90-10. Like, no.
Spend your last week of your life, like go to Hawaii or something, lay on the beach. Like none of this makes sense anyways. Like enjoy yourself.
For your last 24 hours, would you, if you had you had 24 hours to solve this, or you have 24 hours, then lights out?
Dude, I can barely do escape rooms. Like there's no way I'm solving this. Like I'm dead. Like I wouldn't even look in, like there wouldn't even be a thing I'd look into. It'd be like, okay, well, so I got 7 days and probably I'd waste those 7 days too. I probably wouldn't do anything different than I'm already doing. So it was like, it would just be a big waste.
That's my favorite. Like, I don't know if I only had, I'd try to climb Mount Everest. Then like, nope, I'd be hanging out with my cats, watching reality TV, like eating Taco Bell, and been like, you know what? I had a good run. Like the world's going to continue to get worse. I had a great ride. I wish I could remember.
Did you?
Half
Wait,
of it.
but Annabelle, did you have a great ride?
You know what? I think I had better than like most. Like I mean, who else can say they're Miss Teen Clearwater 2007?
So true.
Only me. So it's like, yeah, you know what? Have I hit everyone's, what's on majority of people's vision boards? Yes. Miss Teen Clearwater 2007, feeding a hummingbird with Spencer.
You had
Pratt.
Paris Hilton in your high school yearbook.
You know what? So I've lived a better life than most people could ever dream of. So you know what? And I have 6 cats who not a lot of people get to say that. So you know what? I'm like, I don't think it's going to get better. So it's it's the reverse of what
you've lived your life.
Tell, like gay youth, like when you're supposed to say it gets better. To me, it doesn't. I don't think so. So like
this video for me would be like a sweet release. It'd be like, okay, good. I got 7 days.
Yeah, and then like for your last 24 hours, like you'd want to watch like original, like was it like Bailey Boner Jams Volume 3?
You know what I do? I mean, I will say there is part of me, and I don't like. I wish I still had that tape. I wish I still had the Boner Jams tape. I wish I still I would love to see what I put on there. Like I think I remember one film.
But like 24 hours where anything could happen, anything could happen, but then you were dead in 24 hours, or you had 24 hours to solve this. Like, what would you do?
I'd go skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing, a bull named Fu Manchu. No, I mean, I would just talk to my parents, talk to my friends, do a pod. I mean, it'd be pretty basic. I'd go hiking, eat a big meal. Like I would eat one of those meals like I do so often where I'm like, oh, I wish I was dead. Like I would try to be like, I'm going to die. Like, I would eat till I was felt like I wanted to die. And then be like, take me. Is it 10 PM yet? So anyways, okay. So she's now going to go to the island, and we flash on this article, Richard Morgan, who's the husband of Anna Morgan. And it says rider injured at horse show. And
it shows her in an accident over a jump.
Yeah. And onlookers say Anna Morgan was holding her daughter at the time, And so now we cut to Naomi Watts on the ferry going to the island.
I'm like, how is she riding and jumping while holding her daughter?
Well, I think that would, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's
like when Brittany was driving around with Jaden James on her lap, which I don't blame her for that. But I'm saying it's nobody's fucking riding with their kids slung on them and a fucking baby Bjorn. It was a different time. Naomi, by the way, we're on the ferry. And it was a simpler time.
Naomi approaches, there's a big, a horse trailer, and a horse is in there.
They're on a ferry.
They're on a ferry. Yeah. It's a horse to the cars and, so it's normal. But Naomi goes, hey buddy, it's first off, maybe don't like, you don't just get to say hello to, like, she's poking her head through she's like, hey, horse. And the horse starts freaking out. And then the horse escapes, charges Naomi, like, and then starts going around the whole ferry at full speed, this horse. And this girl's like, daddy, my horse, daddy. And like, just like wild. And then like the horse almost has Naomi and we're like at the edge and like, da, da. And then Naomi ducks down and this dumb horse goes over the thing and into the water. We see the horse drop into the water and he's like,
I think it's going to clear it. And then it's like its back leg hits the rail, like hits the fucking thing of the boat. Like he doesn't clear it. Like his back leg fucking.
Wait. You think the clearing part, like if he cleared it, he wouldn't have died?
Well, I don't know.
He's going to fall in the water regardless.
But horses can swim. I don't like the chance of it. I don't know if he would still
Wait
gone
a
over.
sec.
The fact that he hit his leg.
Oh, you think? See, I didn't pick up on that. I thought he fucking went into the.
That's why it's like the fact that he didn't like clear the jump, like clear like jumping over the thing.
Then he died. He died a loser too.
He made his like he hit his leg. That's why it's like the outside. It's like you hear that fucking like was it Foley work? Dave Foley work? Foley work? What is the sound?
The people that make the sound effects. Yeah.
The sound of like he fucking catches his leg and then on the outside he like falls all the way out of the boat and hits it. But it's like I've gone swimming with like Loki before. Like horses can swim. They're not like fish, but they have the capability of like swimming. Like it's the fact that he broke his leg on the way over and then ended up under the propeller. It's like, yeah, he was like, I don't want to be touched by this haunted blonde and like fucking like broke out. But yeah, it's like, don't.
But then, by the way, the horse disappears, you guys. And then the horse hits the propeller and all the blood is in the water. So we see the blood and the girl's like, daddy, like my horse again.
I like to think of like, there's like a janitor like on the ferry, like there's a lot of good horse meat just wasted.
That's what you thought a janitor was like.
Well, no,
I wish
honestly,
I could eat that horse.
And like, I thought about like, maybe I need to up Loki and Drago's life insurance.
Jesus.
My horses have way better, like Loki and Drago have better life insurance than me, which undoubtedly they are more valuable than I am, like, which is true. But it's like, yeah, they have better life insurance than me. I should probably.
Do they have accidental? Like if you sit on them wrong, do they get a payout?
Well, they had accidental. I'm like, now I'm like, fuck, should I had suicide? With family history, I was like, ooh, manic depression does run in the family. I mean, if they're going by their mom, they're like,
Loki was giving away all of his prized possessions the other day. It's a bad sign.
He should have known. He was like posting a lot of ominous things. He was, really
started a podcast.
He was really focusing on this like negative woman who sent him a message on Instagram. Like he was like really upset about it. And it's just, yeah, like I really should up their life insurance for suicide.
Okay, and moving on, we cut to Noah, the guy, and he's searching for records for Anna Morgan at this other place. And he's like, sorry, we can't give you records. And he's like, no, I was up there already. And then the guy's like, nice try, buddy. The record room is downstairs. And he's like, you got me. And then all of a sudden cut to Noah breaking into the record room downstairs because the guy gave him the information where it was. We see a fly on the door, not unlike the fly that gave Rachel the nosebleed earlier. And
which he makes like a weird face of like, oh my God, the fly a sign? But I'm like, I don't know. I don't really feel like that's a very specific sign. It's a fly.
Is this the same fly from the video? Is this the fly?
Like it would be different if it was like earlier, it was like, Jeff Goldblum from The Fly. And now it's like, now I'm seeing another Jeff Goldblum from The Fly. Like, nope, this is just like a regular fly. Like this does not have like this.
Yeah, this is not a demon fly like the other one was.
And I'm like so into anything supernatural. I look for anything that's a sign, but even I would be like, there are more flies. I don't know. I would feel like I'm really, really gonna pull a muscle with my reaching, saying that this fly must be where it's at. Also, it's like, this is 2002. Who can you just break into like a mental hospitals like records, and I would have appreciated if he had like pulled a like Ace Ventura from Pet Detective and like worn like a tutu and like danced around to try to like distract them to then break into like the records room. Like there just could have been a more
also the records room, you guys. The other big thing about records room in this movie, they're all creepy. They're all gross, not well kept. Like
everything has like a flickering light bulb. Like none of the lights.
Like, you don't care about keeping these records anyways. Nobody taking care of the records. And then we cut to the lighthouse and we hear violin music, which is building the tension. A truck's driving, gloomy once again. And Naomi Watts is at this barn, and it's the Morgan farm, you guys. And we find out, and this guy's like, hello. And she's like, excuse me, Mr. Morgan. And this is Brian Cox, the lead of Succession. And he's like, you want to know about the horses? Huh?
Oh, because she's like, Mr. Morgan, I'm, Naomi Watts from Seattle, Post.
Yeah, bullshit magazine.
Going out of business soon. And I just he goes, you want to know about the horses? Like, I just imagine him being like, oh, here's a pretty blonde. I want to know if she's, taking the census, or she's
why don't you write this article about my dick?
And he's like, you want to know about the horses?
What is it? He goes, what is it you're writing, miss? What is it you're writing? And he's just like, oh, I don't breed anymore. I don't breed horses.
He goes, what more is there to say about the horses? He goes, I don't know what more there is to say. I was like, I should have been like, listen, there's been a Netflix series, that bald guy with all the gay shows, that, Murphy Man, made an American Horror Story series about it. Like, what more do you want to know about the horses? There's nothing more. How many podcasts can there be about this story?
So he goes, she goes, I guess you wouldn't breed horses after what happened. It must have been hard, you and your wife. And we see the mirror in the house, because they're in the house now, from the video that the lady was brushing her hair into. And he's like, Rachel, you want to tell me what's really on your mind? And she pulls out the VHS copy and she's like, do you know what this is? And which is just so funny. Like, it's like, and she goes, Anna is on this tape. You can see her horses, the mountain. And he's like, is that the only one? He's like, all this, he's like really bad. She's like, I made a copy. And he's like, I got a lot of work to do today, a lot of acres. And there's another thing that needs fixing.
Because once you think you're done, there's another thing, there's proof that you need to fix. I'm like, okay, well, man, no one is on this property. No one is looking, no one is in these pastures. Like, what are you, like, no one cares about this.
It's so gloomy, dude. Nobody's going to see shit. And he goes, she goes, you don't want to even see this tape? You're not even curious? He's like, nope, don't think so. She's like, Mr. Morgan, I can't help you. And she goes, where's your daughter? Maybe she could help. And he goes, stops. He's like, I don't have a daughter. What is it with you reporters? You're only a person, you spread a person's tragedy and you spread it like a sickness. What is it you think you know? Leave it alone. And then Rachel walks out in the gloom and we see the swing. We see the swing on the tree from the video. She looks up at the house, and this is the house from Aiden's shitty drawing. We flash back to the shitty drawing that Noah gave Naomi Watts that Aiden made for mommy. It's a shitty drawing of this shitty house. And we see one of the faces blurred out in the drawing. And then we cut to Noah. And Noah's finally found the Anna Morgan file. Like, how many different places are the files for Anna Morgan kept? Like, this is so stupid. And we see
Noah's a disaster. It's like Naomi Watts has managed to kill a horse. She's managed to get across an island, hitch a ride on some pickup truck, like find Brian Cox, managed to like worm her way into like the house. And he's like finally going back. And I was like, it's fucking by the Dewey Decimal System, probably by fucking alphabeticals. How you're just finding this file now? How?
But the point is, the file says that this person conceived and then had a miscarriage, and then he drops the file on the floor. So is it saying like Anna Morgan conceived a child, but then had a miscarriage, right?
Yeah. He goes, he's like flipping through, as like they do like the little finger walking of like 64 conceived miscarriage, 65 conceived miscarriage. And then I love his line goes, she did not give up. I was like, I don't know. It's just too, all right.
So we then see
kind of like, she would not let up on this thing. It's like, God,
he needed this baby. On. We see this thing that says session terminated at father's request, see video record. Then we cut to that little bastard Aiden, the kid, making dark circles. He's like drawing like this. Now he's like even shittier drawing. He's just drawing a dark circle, which is the ring.
Messing up a fucking circle, Aiden. God damn it.
Then Naomi Watts calls the little bastard Aiden and she's like, why did you draw that house? And he's like, she's like, who told you to do that? And he goes, she did. And Naomi's like, she talks to you? And he goes, she shows me things. And Naomi's like, did she show you her privates? No, she goes, did she show you? She goes, did she show you the horses? And then Aiden's like, she doesn't like it in the barn. The horses keep her up at night. And Naomi's like, so she still lives there? And then he's like, no, she lives in a dark place. And then it's like, once again, this is where like specific questions, like where specifically does she live? Like a dark place. Where, Aiden? Like where the fuck does she live?
Like set it up like an improv scene. Like who, what, where?
Treat me like I'm Annabelle. Treat me like I'm Annabelle. Go slow, overdo it. And she goes, we get
treat me like you're a Jamie Kennedy movie. Break it down to me. Okay.
We get a shot of like streams and rocks.
Speaking of horse cocks, we have not brought up Jamie Kennedy until now. I'm very proud of us.
Good. We cut to some other guys. We cut to some other dorky kid, like who was like also. And Naomi, we see an old couple fighting, and the lady's telling like, you can leave me anytime you want. You ain't exactly gonna catch anyone better, And she goes like, hi, I'm Miss Krasna. And I
don't remember this elderly, marriage story fight at all.
She's like, and this dorky kid is Darby. He's always here, aren't you, Darby? And and she's like, you came over on the ferry, did you? And Naomi's like, the Morgans and their daughter? And Darby repeats, do you know their daughter? What? Like Darby's a slow kid, And he goes,
he said it in kind of like a sarcastic way. He's like, do you know the daughter? Like as he's like sitting there, I was like, okay, Darby, like let's like take the attitude down a notch.
She goes, I don't know how to say this, but I'm seeing things. I'm seeing images. I'm seeing
that I have a horrible son with fucking he's like a little Lucifer. I'm hoping he's not actually my kid, but
she goes, I don't know how, but it's because of that girl. And Miss Grassner's like, I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. And then we cut to the slow kid on a little merry-go-round outside his house, or little like go-round thing. And she's out there with Miss Grassner. And Miss Grassner's like, Anna wanted a daughter for so long. And then she came back with Samara. The mother died of complications.
She wanted a kid so bad. Then they went on vacation and they came back with Samara. They said she was adopted, but never said from where. And I was like, I don't know, the devil's asshole. Where did she come from? She's like, well, it was between her or I guess another. Said there was like a redheaded girl with curly hair and she kept singing a lot and tap dancing. So they chose the lesser of two evils and, picked Samara. But she was a mistake. Like, you never said from where you bought this girl from.
You son of a bitch. She goes, mother died of complication. And she goes, Anna started seeing visions, horrible things, like they were burned inside. And she's like, it only happened around Samara. She put them there. And Naomi's like, was there anything wrong with her? And Miss Grassner's like, medically? When she goes, when Darby there was born, we knew something was wrong with him, but we loved him anyways. Some people have limits. Which is like, Like poor Darby's like right there. Like Darby is like, oh, he's like fiddling with himself, and he's like, this kid is not born right. We still love him.
I wasn't born deaf. I can fucking hear you.
I still have ears. And Naomi's like, so what happened to her? And she's like, I referred them to a psych on the mainland. Ebola, the same psych where we've been talking about the whole time. She's like, I assume she's still there. And how could you not know if she's still? I mean, like this is like you never followed up on that person you recommended over to the psych ward. Like you never checked in about it.
Granted, there was a woman who I considered friend made me drive out to fucking Sherman Oaks and blatantly told me, she's like, Annabelle, I think you've hit rock bottom. No one likes you. Your life is a disaster. And I think you're, a loving sex addict. I really think you should go to rehab. I really think you need to go to rehab. You're a disaster.
She said you were a sex addict? She said you were a sex addict?
She told me I was a loving sex addict. I was like, I've slept with 3 people my whole life. I'm like, I don't mean 3 people today, which if you're listening to this and you have slept with 3 people today, good for you. As long as you're being safe about it and they're willing.
Yeah.
Fuck 30 people a day. Do whatever you want. Like it's your UTI you have to deal with. But besides that, baby girl, do however many people you want to do, go for it. But it's like to tell somebody that and then make me pay for breakfast and then never follow up with you to tell somebody like you need to go to rehab. No one likes you, blah, blah. Your life is a disaster. Make me pay for fucking breakfast and driving out to the valley and never follow up after that. No.
Well, but then Miss Krasner goes, well, it's because we've been through a lot of hard winters before the horses. Well, when you catch a cold, everyone catches a cold. Once that girl was gone, everything got better. So that was like why she didn't
that year. Better crops.
And then so we cut to Noah again in another fucking file room and trying to get the file on Richard Morgan. And he's like, well, I'm Richard Morgan. And the dude's like, what's your secret? Because Richard Morgan's an old dude. And he's like, I swear to God, if you walk away with my file.
He goes, Ageless by Ramona.
He goes, I have a system. And they go to get the tape and he opens it. There's no tape in it. And he's like, who was the last person that had it? He goes, well, the last person that had it was Richard Morgan. So it was you. And, Noah's bullshitting. So Noah now is on the ferry and his cell isn't working to get to Naomi Watts. We cut to Naomi Watts knocking on the door. And she's like, Mr. Morgan? That's the guy from Succession, Brian Cox's house. Rachel opens the door, sees the creepy mirror again, and goes to the TV and then goes to a box. And we see a certificate of a live birth. And it's Samara's birth certificate. And we see a centipede come out from under the file.
Cabbage Patch Doll's birth certificate. They also had birth certificates.
We see a centipede or whatever was in like a pop out from the video in those files. And she pops the tape in the VCR and it's Samara at the psych ward. And she's staring at the camera and they call her SM0015. And the doctor's like, so what's that keeping you awake? You have to sleep sometime. Samara? Let's talk about the pics. How did you make them? Samara, how did you make these pics? She says, I don't make them. I see them. And then they just are, which I guess is the big fucking explanation for the VHS. So she went from drawings to cameras and they just are. That's the big explanation for all of this. Samara's like, she goes, Samara, I need you to start telling me the truth. And she goes, can I see mommy? I love my mommy. And he's like, but you don't want to hurt her anymore, do you? You don't want to hurt anyone. And then she goes, she goes, but I do. I'm sorry. It won't stop. And he's like, well, that's why you're here. So I can make it stop. And then she's like, he's going to leave me here. Who? Daddy? They just want to help you. Not Daddy. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves the horses. He wants me to go away. No, he doesn't. But he doesn't know. Know what? Samara? And first off, if some little girl, I don't care how old or young you are, some girl says, I do want to hurt people. Yeah, you're going into the psych ward. Daddy doesn't love you anymore. Like daddy might love you, but I hope you can understand why we need to keep you away from people because you want to hurt people. Like this Brian Cox isn't a bad guy.
I think also calling Brian Cox been like, he's a zaddy, not a daddy. Like he's like,
but right at this moment when Naomi Watts is watching,
like they're saying, like, also I love that you just see the doctor's like hand. Guess what the doctor is doing? This is like As if he couldn't be sexier because he's a doctor. He's also puffing away on a cig.
Well, guys, Brian Cox hits her. Like she's watching this video.
Cox, she's watching this video that she's fucking.
It's house. Yeah. And he pulls the TV out of the wall and she's like, she's never gonna whisper in my ear again. Brian Cox is like, she's never gonna whisper in my ear again. And Brian, like just a bear of a man, it's like a big TV, brings the TV upstairs with him. He's dragging the cord, and then Naomi's following him. And it's like he goes into the bathroom. There's just water, foot, like the water's up like a foot.
He has so many fucking extension cords. It looks like he's doing like pyro at a fucking Kiss concert. There's so many extension cords.
He's like all so it's like water everywhere. The bathtub is filled with water, and he it's like he's gonna kill himself. And Brian's like, and those pictures, oh Christ, the things she shows you, and I wish Nam was like, yeah, my son's a horrible drawer as well. Like my son shows me like, and then he's like, she'll never stop. She'll never stop you coming here. You coming here proves it. She'll never stop. And he steps in the bathtub, and she's like, if we don't stop here, my son will die. And he's like, oh, yes, he will. She never sleeps. And then he electrocutes himself. He throws it in the water.
He puts a bit in his mouth. He puts a horse bit.
Well, a horse bit, yeah.
And fucking, like, it is really it is a creme de la creme of.
No, he's a good actor. He's like it was good, you know.
It stuck with me.
And but all of a sudden, guess what? Noah's right behind her. You know, like Noah's all of a sudden in the house because he's there. And then we cut to Aiden. Going, she doesn't like the barn. And Naomi saying she doesn't like the barn. The horses keep her awake. So Noah all of a sudden breaks into the barn because he's the breaker in of things like record rooms and all this stuff. By the way, at some point, we've never gotten the cops involved yet. Like, we're dealing with something. Like, there's no, like so we see the ladder, you guys, from the video. We see the ladder in the barn that they break into, and it's the barn from the film. And she goes, Samara. And they climb up this very tall ladder, which, by the way, they both climb up together. Yeah, I was like, why doesn't one person hold the ladder and one person sees what it's top?
Especially being that the video fucking shows the ladder falling. Both of you are now up in this fucking loft of a barn. Like, Brian Cox is dead. Who the fuck do you think is going to find you? If one of you jumps, one of you is definitely fucking dying. Like,
yeah, we see
behind.
And they go up to the top. And it's a child's room at the top of the barn. And there's like a bed, there's a little hobby horse, there's like a TV, which is where she got her love of film, I guess they say. And he, and she's like, he kept her here. Her mother was going crazy. He blamed her. So he kept her here alone. And Noah's like, no, not alone. And he's playing with the TV. And Naomi sees the reflection of herself in the TV screen.
Boner jams. So he wasn't totally alone.
Which, by the way, kind of like my dream place to live, by the way. Like, not that, like, also if the little girl really, like, there was a ladder and that all you need is a TV. I'm like, where is the issue here? Also, I don't believe this for a second, because if the dude loved the horses more than the girl, why is he going to put this annoying girl with the horses if he loves the horses so much?
Also, it's like, honestly, if DoorDash can get to the ladder, I'm fine. Like, you got your TV, you got a bed. As long as I have air conditioning, but that barn actually like looked loft, looked like there was like a strong enough breeze. Like, okay, yeah, I'm good. All right. Like, you know what? The only thing it was missing for me for the comfort, cats. Had cats in there. And I'm like, where is this dream Airbnb that I can get 5 stars to and want to book out for the rest of my life? Because yes, please.
I mean, nowadays they would book this out as an Airbnb. This would be somebody's quaint. They would like say this as a favorite. But anyways, he goes, Rachel, look. And it's wallpaper. And it's like, there's some kind of weird blood underneath. There's some kind of weird moistness. And he's like, and they start tearing the wallpaper. They're like, it's etched in the wood. And then Naomi's like, or burned. And it's a tree, you guys. This wall. And she goes, this tree was on the tape. And Rachel goes, no, I've been there. No. this is Shelter Mountain. And then we cut to Wednesday, day 7. Shelter Mountain is that cabin with the kids. So now we're back at this cabin, and she's like, the sun came through the leaves and it lit them up like they were on fire right at sunset the night I watched the tape here. That was a week ago, back to where we started from. But we're too late, Naomi says. You have to help him, Noah. And he's like, no, it's up to you. You have to, it's like, use this time. You have to figure it out, and he's like, no, you can do it. Come on. He's like, no, it's too late. It's too late.
She's barely my kid. It was God.
He goes, and then he's like, it's here. It's in this phone, this television somewhere. And he's breaking stuff. And all of a sudden he breaks his vase with a lot of like glass balls in it. And they all get magnetized.
Thank God there's a vase of 50 marbles.
Yeah, marbles. That's it. And the marbles all get like magnetized over to a chair. And they're like,
in an arrow.
Yeah.
You realize it's in an arrow. Like it's a fucking Looney Tunes. Like it's just this giant
this is all
arrow.
Like, here. See, this is the kind of thing, like, even if it's like fucking witchcraft, like, okay, so witchcraft knows the arrow. Like, this is just like, what is this? Like National Treasure? Like there's clues and there's like, and they pull up the carpet, and then Noah starts using an axe, and he cuts a huge hole in the floor with this axe. Like, I mean, this would have taken days. It's huge. And all of a sudden we see the well. The well is beneath the floorboards. There's an eerie rumbling. Naomi pushes the top off of the well, and they look down. They're like, how far do you think it goes? All of a sudden, up top, we see the TV flicker on. And he's like, we should drop something. And all of a sudden, the TV, we see water coming out of the TV. And then we see nails coming out of the floorboard. And then they drop a rock.
Creepy.
No, it's unscrewing nails. It's like, who cares? Like, honestly, this is like a dream thing for a lot of builders that are like have to unscrew things. Like, this is like, whatever technology this is amazing. And they drop a rock down the well. They don't hear it. And they're like, he goes, do you think she's down there? Screws are starting to come loose. We hear a rumbling, and then flies all of a sudden are everywhere. All of a sudden, the TV from upstairs falls down onto Rachel, who's over the well, and pushes Rachel into the well.
It hits her like there should be a fucking Wayans brother throwing this at her. It's like it looks like it should be from Scary Movie, because it just hits her.
It's like so weird.
So like flips down. I was surprised. I was like, oh, this does not like this looks like a spoof. Like,
yeah,
her falling.
Completely fake. We cut to he's like, Rachel. Then we cut to Naomi in the water. Like, I guess it wasn't that far down. And like, she wakes up, and luckily she has her flashlight with her. And she's like, I'm here. I'm all right. Are you? And he's like, okay, I'll go find something and get you up. And she gets out her waterproof flashlight, and she flashes it on the walls. And all of a sudden she goes closer to the wall. She pulls out a fingernail. Like somebody was trying to get out.
I would have loved if it was like a Khloe Kardashian, like fake fingernail, like a vagina.
Yeah, it was like a big talon. And she goes, and then we see an image of the tape with the fingernail. And that's what we had seen that earlier. And then all of a sudden, magically, the cover goes on top of the well, closing the well. We see the TV flicker off. And then Noah is trying to get this hose or something to get her. And he sees the tree, he sees things are going wrong. And then Rachel, all of a sudden,
he's running with the hose, by the way. And he's running and does it looks like a Jim Carrey gag where he's like running with the like hose, and he's like, ah! And like slips like a Three Stooges thing. And
it's pretty funny. Yeah. Between this and the TV, because I just imagine the director was like, fuck it. I don't even know at this point. Like, this doesn't even make sense.
He's
so
like, guys, just play. Just have fun.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
Now let's do a fun one. And he goes, so Noah's trying to get the hose. He falls. Rachel all of a sudden gets her hands on something like an extension. It's like hair extensions. Like, and she's like pulling at it. And all of a sudden, you guys know it's a girl's hand. And then we cut to a girl looking in a well. We see horses in the background, and then we're like in a flashback all of a sudden, and it's Anna Morgan. And Anna Morgan is walking this Samara girl to the well, and he goes, isn't it beautiful, Samara? So peaceful. I know things will get better. And all of a sudden, Anna grabs Samara and kills her. And
she puts a bag over her head.
And goes, all I ever wanted was you. And then she throws her down the well, and Samara is drowning. And her eyes open as the well shuts, and that's the ring that they see at the very end. It's not a ring, it's it's the thing covering. So that's
listen, if you're gonna kill your kid,
that's the ring.
You need to finish the job. Like, say what you wanted about the Ramses or whatever. Like, at least they did. Like, if you're gonna kill your kid, just do it. And I don't know if it was like
Gordon Ramsay,
brother, like the pineapple.
Gordon Ramsay and his daughter. Who are you talking about?
Yeah, he yelled at her.
Oh, JonBenet. Oh, okay.
That he then put her in the.
Wait,
yeah.
Why did Anna kill Samara? Just because she was Looney Tunes? Wait, why did Anna?
She was, I guess, because like Samara was giving her like hallucinations.
But leave Samara in the psych ward.
I don't, you know what? Yeah,
I mean, was there a scene where the psych ward was like, we don't want her anymore?
You would think it would be like the dad who did it. Cause like the dad was clearly when he was like,
yeah,
my wife was never meant to have a kid. Like kids taking, attention away from me. Like, I don't know. I was confused at that part, but granted, parenting is the hardest job in the world. So who knows? Granted, I'm like, if anyone should be throwing their kid down a fucking well, Aiden should be fucking taking a dive down there. The only Aiden I want to see
is, by the way,
a tall guy who makes furniture.
We don't really ever get into Aiden's psychic communication with Samara. Like, Samara doesn't have psychic communication with Naomi Watts. Anyways, her eyes open.
Samara's probably like, this kid's a freak show. Why is he the only one who will talk to me? No.
Naomi Watts wakes up after this, and we see her bruising has disappeared. And Naomi said, like, she's still alive down there or something, like all of a sudden she's holding Samara. She's holding her, and it looks like, perfectly embalmed. She's holding
like a very cute girl, like
very
a very
cute, yeah.
like very like adorable girl, like perfectly intact, like a little American Girl doll.
And so Naomi's like, lets us know. She says it out loud. She's like, she was still alive. Like, obviously she was still alive when she fell down the well. And Naomi sees the perfectly pristine, preserved body of Samara. And Naomi goes, it's okay now. And we hear a scream, and it's Rachel, because now the body is completely decomposed in her hands.
I thought it was decomposed because she composed into like a little skeleton. I thought it was good.
Oh, you thought it was a cute little, anyways. So we've supposedly released, like, this is like the, okay, we've solved things. We've like released this tortured spirit. And then now all of a sudden we cut to finally the police are here, which is like, how do we explain any of this? And Rachel to Noah goes, no, Noah comes up to Rachel, goes, they're going to bury her next week. I was like, why don't we do it tonight? Like, why? I mean, who's even going to go who's going to the funeral?
We can do a mass grave. We have that horse. Well, the horse we don't have to bury. The ocean took care of that.
The dad's upstairs, dead. But I mean, like, so, okay. And she goes, and Naomi goes, she wanted that child more than anything in the world. How could she have done that? She just wanted to be heard sometimes. I mean, children yell, cry, or draw pics. My annoying son does all of those things. And by the way, she's saying this, and Rachel isn't even with her kid. Like, did not spend the last week of her life with her kid at all. She's like, they just want attention. Rachel is literally so far away from her
Farrah
Abraham.
Son. Remember when she's like, me and
Backdoor Teen Rachel, she's filming right now. And Rachel goes, I want to go home. She goes like, I want to go home. And Noah holds her. I was like, where's Noah's girlfriend, by the way? Like, did she just, so anyways, so Noah goes, I can't imagine being stuck down in that well. Like, how long could you survive? And Naomi goes, 7 days. You could survive for 7 days until shitty student films were invented. And then you can live forever. And we cut to Aiden on the little floor, like a little turd. And he's like, Noah picks him up.
Like a fucking rag doll. Like how, like,
he's asleep.
Woody from Toy Story. His limbs are everywhere. Not even on a couch, not even on a fucking blanket. No.
Noah picks him up like a dad, and he puts him in the car. And then, they're all driving home. Aiden opens his eyes, and he all of a sudden sees Noah hold Rachel's hand. And by the way, this is when this is when it's revealed that this is a sequel to The Parent Trap. They worked. His plan worked. His parents are back together. It worked, you guys. And then it's like kooky music, and and then he goes, why don't you just call me sometimes, unless you're renting a movie? Which that line would not work anymore. And he
goes,
goes,
call me tomorrow.
call me tomorrow.
And the day after.
Yeah. And which I was like, this is like the only, I was like, oh, they'll never be able to remake this, which is such a blessing. And
unless you're going to Redbox.
Yeah, exactly. She goes, so Naomi is showering all the blood off from the day, and it's going down the drain. And then we cut to Aiden sleeping with Rachel, his mom, and he's like, Rachel, like, it's like, my name is Mom. Like, he's like, what time is it? And she goes, it's either really late or really early, depending on how you look at it. And he's like, don't you have to be at work? And she goes, not today. And he goes, what happened to the girl? And she goes, Samara. And I'm like, no, what other fucking girl are we talking about? Like, what other girl this week had anything to do with any of this? And he goes, and then he goes, is that her name? Is she still in the dark place? I'm like, this little dummy didn't even like get hurt. Like, you talked to like, hey, by the way, I've been talking to you psychically. What's your name? And he goes, no, we set her free. And then all of a sudden he goes, you helped her? Why did you do that? And Naomi Watts is like, what's wrong, honey? You weren't supposed to help her. And Naomi's like, it's okay now. She's not going to hurt you. We all of a sudden see bruising on his arm, her arm. There's bruising everywhere. And
finally, I was like, great. Someone is hurting this kid. And
yeah, I was like, yeah. And he goes, don't you understand, Rachel? She never sleeps. And then we cut to Noah, and he has a coffee cup. He pulls up, and we see a ring, like a coffee stain ring. And then the TV comes on, and it's the snow static. And he turns it off because he's like, that's weird.
He gets up and he's wearing, jeans and flip-flops. I'm like, all right, buddy. Okay, whatever.
He turns it off. It comes back on. And guess what? We see the well on the TV. The phone rings. And then we cut to Rachel call, like, pick up the phone, Noah, pick up the phone. We see Noah look at the well on the TV, and then all of a sudden we see hands cup up over the side of the well. And this Samara girl climbs out, but her hair's all over her face. Don't even know how she's walking. And the girl starts walking towards the screen, all like kind of messed up and like weird.
Oh, glitchy.
Glitchy. We cut to Rachel in the car, like, pick up the goddamn phone. And all of a sudden, you guys, I shit you not, Samara comes out of the TV. This is like
I'm not kidding. This is one of the scariest things
I'm sure you shit yourself. And
like everyone in the movie theater was screaming. You are such a fucking liar if you don't say this like scared you.
Okay. All of a sudden the girl is out of the TV. It's a high def TV and it's like crawling on the floor. This is such an amazing technology. And she stands up and Noah falls back and she even looks all staticky. She looks like kind of snowy. And hair is covering her face and it comes off. It looks like The Exorcist, like, her face, like all of a sudden the hair parts and she looks like the girl from The Exorcist. And the phone is still ringing. Rachel finally hangs up her flip phone, which is like the kids are used to be a thing where you'd like flip your phone. And all of a sudden she goes in and there's a water puddle everywhere and blood. And Noah is in the chair. His bare feet are in the puddle of water. She turns the chair around and lets out a blood-curdling scream. So he has a dislocated jaw as well, like in the first thing, but we haven't seen it yet. But also, this is weird. Naomi then goes out and sees his girlfriend go in the elevator. Isn't that weird? Isn't that a weird part that never gets talked about?
She like watches, like she's like that like meme of like Shaq hiding behind that like tiny tree where she's just like, I'm just gonna watch this girl walk into the most horrifying thing in the world. Like,
but see, this is what the part that confused me. And I almost thought like, oh man, I didn't even remember this part. Cause then I was like, oh, maybe this girl had something to do with it the whole time because the girl kind of looks like a grown up Samara. So in my head, I was like, wait a sec, is this something to do? Cause also why, if she was there, so she was there coming into the apartment or I thought she was leaving. It looked like
what the girlfriend,
the girlfriend.
The underage girlfriend. Oh yeah. The underage girlfriend had just come up through like that weird, like elevator that I only ever see in movies. Have you ever been in that type of elevator?
No, never. That's what I'm saying. It's always like
I feel like that's a
elevator.
TV movie elevator, like I'm an architect, like that type of TV movie job. Like no one's actually those things. Nobody actually has those elevators, like those storage elevators, whatever. So she's going in to like visit her boyfriend. Like she's like, I'm gonna go in and visit my boyfriend who I like happily fuck, even though he wears flip-flops in Seattle. like in his own apartment, like
Yeah.
la da da, like okay, and
But
like
you didn't think there was something. I just thought there was something more that we were going to see, because if this is his girlfriend, he's now like cheating. So I was like, oh, maybe she's behind some of this too. Like, I don't know. Like all of a sudden I was trying, my mind was trying to make sense of it.
like I just no, I that like my part like that my brain like never went there.
Okay.
That she
I mean,
was
but thinking back, didn't you think she kind of looked like a grown up version of Samara?
No, she had much more of a like a Selma Blair haircut. No, if anything, if any future thing, I thought I thought Adam Brody looked like a kind of like a teenage fucking Aiden. Like he had Adam Brody was not the Seth Cohen that we know today. He was like a creepy kid. Like he looked. I
thought he was the smart ass. Like he was on the OC. He was just a little more dour.
No, he was like much more adorable on the OC. Like, no, he like came up with Chris McCall on the OC. No, this Adam Brody was no, thank you.
Okay, so we get back home and she's like, Aiden, go to your room now. And she gets the videotape. She breaks the videotape. She's like, what do you want from me? And she burns the videotape in the fire. And she's like, why not me? And the fire's crackling in the video, but we see that there's a copy underneath the couch. Remember that she threw the copy that the kid was watching. And it's like, she just wanted to be heard. And I don't know, we hear these like, she never sleeps. And we get a flashback of, I made a copy. And all of a sudden we see this scene of like her and Aiden now are in like some video booth, and she grabs his hand and makes him push play. And
yeah, she's like, grabbing his creepy little demon hand. And she's like, boop. And now you take your hand and go, boop.
And he goes, Rachel, she's going to keep killing. It won't stop. And Naomi Watts is like, don't worry, sweetie. You're going to be okay. And he's like, what about the person you show it to? What happens to them? And then the TV goes static, and that's the end of the movie.
Because we see the ring, because then they show it to us. You know who they should.
Oh, is that what it? Oh, is that what it was trying to do?
Yeah, because then we're the one.
Oh, that was even dumber. That's even.
You know who they should give that fucking videotape to?
They should have looked at. Wait. They should have looked at us though and goes, "What happens to them?" And he should have like pointed to us so we knew.
I'm like, I don't want Aiden looking at me. I don't want him doing to camera. Like, I don't want him pulling a Deadpool talking to me.
Why did she make him push the button? Because
it's him making the copy. So how she made the copy that saved her. Now it's Aiden because he's touching the tape. It's him making a copy.
Annabelle,
him making it with his little Annabelle hands.
I did not put that together at all.
I'm a little bit more cerebral than you.
Do you say
I'm a little bit more?
Do you say it a little more cerebral?
Yeah, I'm a little more cerebral than you. That's why you don't get it.
Okay. Anyways, one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen in my life. Like truly one of the most idiotic. Thank God there was a lot of pauses in it, so I didn't have to keep rewinding and taking notes. But it was truly like the whole thing, you guys, like how does somebody make a shitty student film? And like, that's what does it. It just makes zero sense. It's so frustrating because I love things that make sense. Makes zero sense. And now does the Ring 2 have Naomi Watts in it?
Yeah, The Ring 2 has Naomi Watts in it.
Do we solve anything in The Ring 2? Does anything get solved? Do we get fucking answers?
We should watch it together. We should do a live watch.
Do we ever get answers? Because it's just like I don't even know if I care, but like
this scared me.
You know they're not going to give you answers.
This destroyed me, Ryan. Like you don't understand. Like
this destroyed you.
What today is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
I mean, Silence of the Lambs really messed me up.
I've never seen it.
There were parts of Scream that I thought were really scary. Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one, was really messy as a kid. I got really scared.
It was like Jamie Kennedy scenes because he's such a good actor.
That's Scream, but I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. It was really scary with Freddy Krueger. The first one was so scary.
There were parts of Scream that scared you.
Yeah, the first scene only, and then no, the first scene and the last scene. Jamie Kennedy had no scary scenes.
You weren't like so scared of like, oh my God, that guy's penis is so big. Like, it's like 3D coming at me.
No, I'm not you. I'm not.
You're like, no, I can take it.
I was about to say, I'm not afraid
of
a huge dong, but then I was like, wait, what does that even mean?
I wouldn't be afraid of like, even though I haven't watched any other horror, I don't feel like I'd be afraid of like Freddy because like I was very turned on by, is it Richard England? Whoever the actor is.
Robert.
I was very turned on by him in Urban Legends. So
Robert Englund too was also in, what was he? Oh, Stranger Things. He was in the new season of Stranger Things. He was the blind guy. Strangerlings.
I've never seen that or its sequel, Stranger Things. I have no interest.
Okay, tell me so you, even upon repeated viewing, you like it. You like this.
Your face looks very thin. It's a compliment. You're welcome. You look.
You're about to say there's a joke in here somewhere, and this doesn't look very thin.
That was no.
My face doesn't look very thin, Annabelle. There's a ring joke in here.
I've been like, and that's what the ring said. No, I'm serious. Like you're much more angular. You have like your
much more angular.
I'm giving you a compliment.
I hate it. Thank you.
There's not a joke to it.
Thank you, but I feel like you're trying to stop me from saying that I hated the movie, and I hated the movie. This is another horrible, horrible movie. It's creepy. I'll give it maybe creepy. And Naomi Watts is a star. Everything else about this movie, every corner, I need to see. Like, I want to see how, like, if in the afterworld, Samara even came up with the idea of like, you know what, creepy images. I'll do creepy images, put it together. That way I'll get my revenge.
Influencer.
Yeah, kind of. But see that what I'm see, like, I want to know why. I want to know why. Like, Slender Man is more interesting visually, not the movie, but just like the legend of Slender Man.
I did watch that. I mean, I would you call it a document? Is it a documentary if it's on HBO? I feel like a documentary has to be on like a streaming thing or something.
No, dude, HBO documentaries are amazing.
Like the Slenderman thing. I did watch that thinking that it'd be more about like Slenderman, like more about the urban legend. It was mostly just like showing the girls like I was going to say confessionals. God, that's how I like watch reality TV, whatever their like police interviews are. And I did like the one girl who's after like almost stabbing a girl to death. Her thing was, how many steps did I walk? And I was like, I love that this girl's thinking about like,
that's what I'm like with Fitbit like, and stuff like that,
like I'm on Atkins, like I'm trying to do like the GoFit, like how many steps do you think I walked? Like, and I was like, you know what? She has her priorities straight.
Yeah. No, I mean, does not take away from the fact that I hated this movie. And
I don't understand why you're like, truly, Ryan, I'm not, there is no way that this did not like frighten you in any way.
I mean, it did like make me think about like the passing of time, and that frightened me of like, I wasted another 2 hours. I wasted, like, it's like, that's what frightened me more than that was just like, oh, wow. Again, a horrible movie. This one wasn't even supposed to be horrible. Like, we usually pick horrible movies. This one, I didn't even think was going to be horrible. And then I even saw it in the theater, and I remember not liking it now. Back then, I was like, I even knew back then this movie sucked. And I forgot because so much time has passed. And I just remember when I was like, oh yeah, because the gloomy shit, I was like, I hate.
You also saw this when you were 30. So it changed it.
No, I didn't. I'm not even fucking close to fuck off. You are much braver than I am. Braver? This wasn't even, it's PG-13.
That's just because there's no nudity in it.
Oh, you think the horror films that are rated R is because there's nudity?
Yeah.
It's because they're slasher films and you see blood and guts and stuff.
Okay, well,
Okay. Did you have a hard time sleeping last night after watching this?
I told you I unplugged my TV. I unplugged my TV from the wall.
You were doing that for a bit. You weren't unplugging.
No, I said what was
Annabelle,
creepy.
why would you unplug your TV? Because then if it really was true, it would come back on without the plug. So you didn't do anything.
I swear to God, I was like, oh my God, if my horse skeleton decoration falls down, I'm going to lose my shit.
This is a girl with a fucking horse skeleton in her bedroom. And she's like, I'm scared. Why do you have a horse skeleton in your bedroom, let alone a Jack Skellington like you did? What I love is that like people are like, oh, I'm so scared. And then you're like, you literally put things living in your house that are scary. But that's cool. That's fine.
Both are from Home Depot. No, that's not a sponsor. No, I don't have a promo code. But I didn't put my full-size horse skeleton. The other horse skeleton that I bought from Home Depot is 6 feet. This is a 4-foot one, so it is not scary.
Okay, well, by the way, your horse skeleton scares me more than this movie. Period.
I know that if you could give this, if this tape did exist, I know that you would give it to me to watch, because I wouldn't you enough to do this. Also, can you believe how much that fucking spirit Halloween decoration looks like me?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I mean, you kind of are a grown-up, Samara.
Thank you.
By the way, this is what if Samara wasn't thrown down in the well, she'd have your life right now. She would literally be riding horses every day. If she got into horses, she'd be like
have an unhealthy relationship dynamic with her parents. She would.
Somebody would be like, offered you extra large pants. I got offered extra large pants today that some girl had worn for a year.
I know the other girls at work, they're like, you're the only person who could work retail and have people still come give you things. Customers have come and given me things.
Wait, does that, I mean, are they saying that you look like needy?
That possibly. My therapist did tell me, Cynthia did tell me, she's like, I need you to start wearing makeup to work. She did tell me I need to start wearing makeup again. And some other things. And also she does not like she goes, I told you our first appointment, which she did. She told me our first appointment 4 years ago. I went there wearing a Hocus Pocus t-shirt. And at the end of our first session, she goes, I don't want you wearing a t-shirt again. The neckline is very unflattering. And she goes, and I see you're wearing t-shirts again. And I'm like, you're right, Cynthia. All of these are accurate. So she wants me to start wearing makeup and stop wearing t-shirts to work. And I'm like,
but she told you this. She told you this 4 years ago?
No, she told me this now.
Oh, I think you said first time 4 years ago.
Well, no, the first time 4 years ago, she told me not to wear a t-shirt to her office again because of the neckline is unflattering.
But why do you keep wearing the t-shirt then?
Well, because now I'm in Aiken. I'm like, whatever. And so I wore a t-shirt and I've been wearing a t-shirt. So, and she's like, I told you. What did I tell you? I was like, oh yeah.
Well, also, if you know, wear a t-shirt if you want to wear a t-shirt, like, you know.
So, well, it's
is she just saying take better care of you? I wear basketball shorts all the time.
I'm wearing like, you know, Justin Bieber like mugshot shirts. I'm wearing like human centipede shirts. Like, I think I'm wearing adorable shirts that like people would like find me attractive in. It's like I'm trying to follow the Ryan Bailey street style. And who wore it better, and clearly you did, because
I have a closet full of beautiful Old Navy clothes that I don't even wear anymore or fit into, and I just like sit there and stare at them, like hoping that like one day I'll be able to fit into my Old Navy khakis again. And it's you know, and people are like, oh, maybe you should just get rid of. Maybe it's a reminder. I'm like, no, I'm going to fit in those Old Navy khakis one day. You know, it'll be on my deathbed, but I'll fit into them.
You're like
every time I see that, by the way,
on top of my casket.
Somebody posted oh man, it's so dark, the thoughts that we have. Like somebody was posting a pic of them it was like, oh, I'm so sick and look how skinny I've gotten. And I was like, God, I'd kill to be sick. You know, like I mean, like that you look amazing. Like I was just like, God, that looks great. You know, like
I'm like, I look at Tom Hanks in Philadelphia and I'm like, yeah. That's my body type.
Yeah,
I was
like, by the way, you look at Tom Hanks in Philadelphia when he's like I got fired. Like he's got the AIDS and stuff, but he looks great. Like he looks like, oh, he's got a 5 o'clock.
Matthew McConaughey at the end of Dallas Buyers Club.
No, see, that's too far.
But
Tom Hanks got a 5 o'clock shadow. Looks cool in a baseball cap when he goes to Denzel Washington in Philadelphia. And he's like, I mean, I remember that movie. I was like, he looks great with AIDS and without AIDS. Just a good looking dude.
I think that you're like with sunglasses, without sunglasses. Yeah, with AIDS, without AIDS.
He made AIDS work for him. Like, and that's why, by the way, I can be really rude and obnoxious at this point because I don't even know who's still with us here. By the way, if you start this podcast right now, you'll finish right at Halloween.
But look at, I mean, it's, P.S. Look at my nails. I finally did my nails. They're cemetery nails. Look at that.
See, this is what I don't get. You're scared, but you paint your nails cemetery. You have I just don't even get.
Nails,
like, don't you look down at your hand and go, "Oh shit!" Like, get scared all of a sudden?
Like, I was very impressed by them. I think they look really good. But look how fucking pale how pale. It's crazy. I look like a fucking ghost. I look like Tamara, but she has, I think, a more. That's like Ryan. If I just did this and walked.
Yes, you look like the girl from the well. Wait. Put your hair over your face so I can take a picture. You and post this. I won't post your face.
I told you when me and Susie went to that Halloween thing and they had the different props and I went and took a picture at that wishing well, because they had the well from the ring. And I crouched behind it to take a picture. And as I was getting out, somebody walked by and they were like, ah! And I was like, and they were like, oh, it's a normal girl. Sorry, I thought you were a decoration.
You should work at a Spirit Halloween store or something.
That would be my dream. I wanted to ask Spirit Halloween, been listen, it's okay that I'm honored that you used my likeness of literally my exact self as a decoration. I would like to be compensated in store credit. Because I feel like that is only fair. Because
there's, by the way, this is this movie, and then you get those assholes that have a well in their front yard, and at Halloween they put the girl, you see the hands coming out of the well. I've been past houses like that where I'm like, oh, cool, it's an homage to a shitty movie in front of your house, it's a cool image, but it's come on, show me the girl coming out of the well. Show me the student film of some random student film. All of a sudden got this girl coming out of a well. And then all of a sudden that guy dies. And then we put this Blair Witch Project. That was a scary film because then I believed in supernatural stuff. That made me believe in supernatural stuff. But, and you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden it was you didn't need a lot. You didn't
real. How did that make you believe in supernatural stuff?
Because they didn't have a fucking videotape they found with cut together images that would have had to be.
That was a movie, but that was a Hollywood movie. That was not.
Yeah.
Found footage.
No shit. But I'm saying that to me was scarier than The Ring. Didn't that creep me out because that could really happen to us. We could go camping in the woods at dark and we could get freaked out like that. I mean, that is real to me. This little fucking if you just had the girl in the well, that could be kind of real to me. But then when you throw the videotape with edited it together and then it kills you after 7 days, that's when you start to get okay, guys, you're being ridiculous.
I think a lot of supernatural, a lot of the other side works through electricity, electrical things. That's very.
But then let us know that have her find some record of wait a sec, when you go beyond, you only get connected through electricity, that's
why. What do you think the fucking TVs are doing? That's Ryan, that's ESPN. That's the other side in touch with you.
ESPN, the sports network? You mean ESP?
Yeah, I'm doing
okay.
She's ESPN or something.
Oh, I've never seen that movie. Okay, so I mean, now I feel like I want to make you watch a scary fucking film and really turn your hair white.
This is terrifying.
No, but one that I find scary and see what you think of it, because at this point, it's getting ridiculous. I can't in good faith tell people to go watch this movie, and I know a lot of people that are listening to this probably go, "Oh, I loved The Ring. Watch it again. See if you liked it the same way."
Baddies, this still was fucking creepy as fuck. I swear, This is a scary movie.
It was creepy as fuck. I'm a grown man taking notes on The Ring. That like scared the shit out of me last night.
The movie is scary. Like, you are in the minority. You are, this is, and I don't believe you. It's okay. Why the stuff that you do say you're scared about? Like, I don't.
Well, okay,
understand.
now this is here. I'll pitch you another scary movie. I keep getting older. I don't have a wife or kids. And then the podcast also goes away because they've invented some kind of new technology. And it's like, what do I do? What do I do? What am I saying? That would be scary. I'm on the streets. Like, I'm on the streets. That is fucking horrifying.
You just said at the beginning they seem to have a great life. He had mood lighting. This is not only
I'm not going to be one of the people that puts together a cool tent like the homeless man I saw. I'm just going to be the guy that's like, fuck it, I guess I'll just put some newspapers over me. Like, I'm going to be that guy. I'm not going to be the cool homeless dude that puts like a whole thing together. I'm not going to be like Cribs, like some people. I'm just saying there's a difference between how I'm going to do it and how I saw that man do it, which was like baller,
Because you're not going to do it, because literally you could stop paying rent. You could go like around the country. You could be like Bill Murray on a fucking karaoke party tour and go around. You could live in so many baddies, different like homes, and like crash on their couch and like do a different like live podcast experience, meet all throughout the country. You could do like a Forrest Gump, but instead of running,
I like to lay down
on different couches.
I don't. Then I have to talk to people every day. I'd be like, "What's up? What's going on?" Like, I have to be on. Then I'm gonna have to drink every day probably because they're gonna want to have a drink with me.
Off. You're fine. There's never a time that you've been on, so you don't have to worry about like the pressure of that.
No, so I feel like it's coming. It's coming soon, and when I go on, it's never going off at that point. And that's what I'm saying. I feel it coming very soon that I will be on all the time. Now, by the way, now I do have a creepy, uneasy feeling right now. Like, now I finally, whatever The Ring was supposed to do,
Is it finally you're finally recognizing what your mustache looks like?
Fuck off. By the way, you know what? I mean, but really, see, that's the thing.
I should be the last one to talk.
No, the thing is,
you don't look terrible, Ryan. I told you your face looks good.
Dude, Annabelle, you're the one that fucking inspired me to get this. I saw yours. It looked cool. I was like, oh my God, I want to try to do what Annabelle's doing. And like I did, of course it's not, it's thinner than yours and it's not as, luxurious, but it's still me trying.
I mean, yes, the only person who, out rivals like my mustache is Sam Elliott, but that's fine. You can't expect to be on his level. Wait. That's
I don't know about, and this is just because I don't think anybody's listening. In terms of pubic hair, can women like cut like a Fu Manchu into like a Sam Elliott into their pubic hair? Can it like
listen?
Can it grow like into ponytails?
If I can dread mine, you can absolutely do like a Yosemite Sam.
Give me the Timberlake when he braided his hair.
I can do you can do like the old like carnival barker, like the like old timey like villain mustache, like when you tie like somebody to like the train tracks where you have like the mustache with like the little curly ends. You can do your 70s porn stash of like before Bang Bros was a thing. You can do your own personal Bang Bros.
What is Bang Bros?
Like a VW.
What is Bang Bros? Is it brothers that banged?
Listen, as a sex addict, I can confidently tell you.
Wait.
Drive to the valley.
Are you super into porn?
No. That's like what's so ironic is that like when she was like, I think nobody likes you. You're 11 sex addict. And like, I agree with one of those statements. I don't agree with the other. Like, and you made me.
What I'm saying is, you might be like that Hogan's Hero guy. You remember that guy? Well, you probably didn't watch, but like there was this guy and he was like
Brooke Hogan because she is my hero.
No, but like he was super into porn, and then he like him and his buddy would make porns with women in like Scottsdale in the 70s, and he got beaten to death with a camera tripod while they were making one of these. Yeah, it's dark. But I'm saying you might be addicted to porn. Maybe that's why you keep going like Bang Bros, Bang Bros.
I'm just trying to support independent filmmakers.
Yeah,
No, I am completely in support of porn and like sex work. No, although when I went to get my psychiatric whatever, when I got on, like when they did my brain scans and I went to the Amen clinic and they did 4 days of testing and all these brain scans or whatever. And then that's when they showed me I always say it's the best headshots I've ever taken when they show me like what my brain, what a quote unquote normal brain is. And then they show you your brain and like a regular brain is only like, like a few colors. And then mine looks like a fucking Lisa Frank painting. And mine was like all the colors
lit
of the
up.
wind. Like, oh boy. But one of my first days, like my first day of testing, I had to go into a guy's office and he had a bunch of different like dolphin figurines. And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. And so he asked me to like, he's like, all right, I'm going to say 3 words at the beginning of this. He's like Q-tip, apple, ocean. And then he like, we went on for like an hour of questioning and he's like, all right, what were the words I said at the beginning? I was like, Q-tip, apple, ocean. He's like, well, how did you remember that? I was like, I don't know, because they're weird words. And he's like, okay, my last question is, he goes, what are 2 ways an airplane and a bicycle are different? And I was like, well, one, and the thing is, because I can't take anything. And I was like, well, one flies. And also one is much easier to have sex on. And like, he like snapped his head up at me. I was like, I mean, I guess you could have sex on the bicycle. It would be more uncomfortable because it's just like, I just can't take anything serious.
Wait, did you know, is that the right answer?
And he like looks at me and he's like, I've worked here for 20 years and no one has ever said that answer. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he's like, have you always considered yourself a sex addict? And I was like, no, I don't. I'm not.
Oh, I thought he was
seriously.
about to say, have you always considered yourself a comedian? Like have you always thought?
I was like, no,
I always thought you were funny. Like, I mean,
because you're not. I just need to know if you always had like, this level of delusion.
It's painful. Like it's really. I've been in this for so long, and this is just really horrific.
You clearly have blown Jamie Kennedy at one point because the essence is still on you.
By the way, that, I mean, like, but what I'm saying is like that to me, like what you've just explained, even going into this and answering those questions, that to me is like real life is way scarier than The Ring. Like it just is. I mean,
when that doctor was telling me my diagnosis of being like manic bipolar, and he started doing it in different.
Wait, are you bipolar? I didn't know you were bipolar.
How did you not fucking know I was bipolar, Ryan?
I knew you were manic, but I didn't know. I mean, I've dealt with that on the podcast, but I mean, I didn't know you were bipolar.
Not to brag.
I have somebody that's close to me that I just got diagnosed with being bipolar, and we're figuring things. I mean, that's interesting. I need to talk to you then about this, not on the show, but
yeah. It was crazy being like when he was expressing it to me, and this is Grant also the first time I'm meeting this doctor at this clinic, and he was telling me, he was like, so your brain scans show giggity that in this like frontal lobe that giggity that you have this. And I'm like, and he's doing like in my head, I'm like listening to him. I'm like, oh my fucking God, now I'm going even crazier than I even thought I was. Cause I'm hearing him tell me this in like Quagmire voice from fucking Family Guy. And then as he's like going on to the next thing, I was like, oh my God, now I'm hearing him do like fucking Peter Griffin. And then it's like, then I realized I was like, oh wait, no, this guy is telling me a medical diagnosis doing a fucking character voice reel. And then I'm just like, and I'm the crazy one? He did my podcast. I'm not even kidding. He did my podcast.
He really was doing character voices while he was giving you the diagnosis?
Yeah, which I have to say made it easier to swallow. It was funny.
Wait, are you on lithium or anything?
No, but guess what? Nancy was on lithium while she was pregnant with me, which I think explains a lot.
Okay. By the way, this is the mystery that is uncovered that is not uncovered in The Ring. Like we have discovered more actually just doing this than The Ring will ever tell you about something to make sense. Like this actually,
now like, this is scary. Now this is horrifying.
We didn't even have to break into any record room to find this out. Like this is what happens when you ask questions. You eventually get answers. Nobody's asking the right questions in The Ring.
I look like the color of Ren. I'm like this weird pale color with redness and black. Yeah, she was pregnant with me and on lithium, and Yeah, I think it explains a lot. And then like when another like customer a few weeks ago told me, I was like, she's like, well, me and you weren't genetically blessed. I wanted to be like, oh, sweetie, you don't think I was genetically blessed? Do you know how many mental illnesses I was born with? And I missed Teen Clearwater 2007. So I think one of us was pretty genetically blessed.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I
thank
don't
you.
see you told me that story like off mic or yeah, but I don't like you're a good looking person, so it's hard for me to like. I mean, even in the I just don't
Also,
but I just don't believe that somebody would actually like because it's like, well, that's easily disproven. So I don't know that part. I'm not saying you're making it
it's a
up, but
weird
it doesn't
thing.
it doesn't seem totally true either.
No, you can ask like I will
Yeah, let me ask the
introduce you
lady
my
that
two
said it to
friends.
you. Let me ask the lady.
Because it's just like I couldn't believe that. I'm like in LA, I get when people made comments about my appearances, but I'm like in fucking Aiken, South Carolina, I have more than 5 teeth. I'm a fucking like supermodel. Are you kidding me?
I hate when people like it's always like new people, like people are like, hey, big guy. And I'm like, oh, don't call me big guy. Like I know I'm a big guy, but like I hate that so much. And it's always like I mean, it's used nicely, like, hey, big guy. And I'm like, oh, just like another reminder, you know?
And like maybe saying like, "Hey, big guy on the charts," because multiple episodes of yours are on the charts in people's time, which is so cool.
Oh my God.
And I'm
Okay, you
so
guys,
endlessly proud
guys,
of you.
guys, congratulate us. We did it. What I said would be 2 hours is an hour. There's 3 hours and 45 minutes. We've shaved 20
Ryan, I'm
minutes
so
off of the last time. This beautiful Saturday is gone. And we have done it once again. And listen, this time, I don't even think I'm splitting this shit up. You are going to have all of this just out and you guys can deal with it how you want to deal with it. And that's it. And,
That's what also
share.
what my doctor said.
By
You
the
can
way,
deal with this how you want to deal with it.
after you listen to this, you will shit in 7 days. You or probably right after. Like this is not Annabelle. Of course, Adderall and compliments you can listen to. Jeff Epstein, I notice, is on there quite a bit. And you guys together, really, truly a terrible twosome.
Truly two very unpleasant people.
How do you guys do shortened episodes? How are you guys not doing 6-hour episodes?
Are you kidding? Jeff has no patience for me at all. That's why I always tell you, you could be like a kindergarten teacher because how you entertain me is really, truly like, it's
yeah,
like
wait. But I'm saying Jeff is cut from the same cloth as you. I tell to Jeff, it's like a billion miles an hour. He's always just like, I'm like, oh, whoa. Like, it's slow down. And he's always like, this happened. Oh, this. Oh, I didn't tell you about this. Oh, I got arrested here. And I didn't tell you about this. It's always like, but anyways, I'm now going to go sleep. This has worn me out. My voice is so raw right now. If you could feel my throat. But we did it. Did it. Last time we did Coyote Ugly, and we had to do that over multiple recording sessions. It was so long. So we got this in one. And this is the swan song. This is the farewell.
I'm so sorry, Ryan.
No. I mean, I think there are pieces of this that are genius. I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see what people think. Because we literally go from the movie, you guys. We go from the movie, and then we'll take a hard left to some kind of thing that has nothing to do with the movie. We go into like Richard Kind and George Clooney. Had nothing to do with this
you
movie
should have just said it was from A Bug's Life.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Got us off track, Ryan. I blame you and Richard Kind.
This podcast, by the way, now, if anybody knows that lady that shit talked me in Charleston, let's hold her down and make her listen to this podcast and see what she says about this one. This if she didn't like the ones this week, her head's gonna fucking blow right off her body.
No, I can't afford another bad review. Actually, I don't care.
No.
I stopped reading mine a while ago. I don't care.
No, everybody listens are actually usually very, very nice. So, and they love you, and they're very excited to have you back with us again. And we might even do another horror film before.
Listen, you think I pay those bot farms for nothing? They be earning their keep. Okay, so
did you say they be earning their keep?
Like I told you, I'm more cerebral than you, Ryan. You don't get it. Okay.
Adderall and compliments is the show, folks. You might hear Annabelle before
Clearly
Halloween
not a graduate
again.
of Tallahassee Community College, which actually neither am I. I only went for 2 years. So,
Oh my God.
and you were in the same boat.
Okay, we got to end. We
The
got to
same
stop.
Thinking boat.
Say goodbye to everybody.
I love you, Ryan. Thank you.
Love you, Annabelle. Bye.